You are a shit pilot.
No!
What in the actual fuck?
You must practice.
Johnny here, guys. This is how you check if your battery's charged.
Listen to me. You must practice. You must practice. You, sir, are a shit pilot.
All right, pilots, arm them up. Go!
You're a shit pilot.
Hey, what the?
Yes, you're shit. You need to practice.
Hey, Steve.
What?
Code faster. Faster. Okay. What's up, guys? We're live, and this is FPV Spill the Tea number 20. As always, we have our regular host, Mr. Nice, expert in everything. We always promote his OnlyFans page, Mr. Nice Does It Twice, OnlyFans/Mr. Nice Does It Twice. Also, we have Johnny5, a famous YouTube star, and Mr. MBA. And Mr. Johnny5, I allow you to introduce our main guest today, please.
Well, guys, today we have with us Mr UAVfutures himself, one of the oldest, most long-standing channels in all of FPV. Been there since the very beginning. His $99 build guide was one of the first videos I recall about FPV that got over 1 million views, and it was the guide that I used to build my first 5-inch back in the day. And since then, though, you've been around for a long enough time period, you may get a few things wrong. And I ended up having an experience with this year or last year where I got something wrong, and I knew just exactly what that felt like to have people come up to me at events and say, hey, you told me this and it was something different. So we want to dive into some of those things. We want to see and hear about some of the rise, the peaks and valleys, what it's like to be doing FPV for a living, if that's still what you're doing.
Yes.
And so here we go, guys. We got a lot of stuff to cover for you today. A ton of questions have been submitted from all over the community. So let's get to it.
Johnny5, you're like, get to the spiciest thing right away. You're supposed to just like nicely introduce him. So I think the first question, Johnny5, is to you. Let's bring Johnny5. How does it feel for you that you're not the most famous YouTuber right here?
Oh, it does feel a bit weird, but I can say that I don't know if my channel would exist without the UAVfutures channel. It was definitely a big inspiration. And I remember after maybe a year or two of making videos, you actually told me, hey, Johnny5, why don't you ever show your ugly face on camera? Because I really didn't want anyone to know.
Oh wait, I actually
videos.
said that. I said show you. I don't think I would use those words. Okay.
Yvonne said that. Said that to me, and so then when I started figuring out like why does UAVfutures work so well, it started making me think he really lets you see what it's like to be there with the people in the community, with Grumpy Trev and Wingman Jono and all those guys. And I figured out, you know what, these guys are more entertaining than me. And so it's really just about showing what it's like to be out there with us. And so who knows if any of this would exist without you paving that way.
Nice.
Thank you. Well, there's like so much to unpack there that you've said. Can I just first say that that is the most professional sounding introduction I think I've ever had. Like I felt like I was at a sports event walking into a stadium and you're talking about the team that's coming in. I was like it was top-notch professional. So if it's not drones that you're not doing in 10 years, you should definitely think about like moving into some sort of commentary, because that was amazing. I would love some talent like that on the UAVfutures channel. So if my team is ever watching this, like I'll point them in your direction, Johnny, for some
There
tips.
you go. John is always like
Right there.
very professional, except when he drinks whatever he drinks from his cup, and everyone hears that.
He's got the voice, though. The voice.
Yeah, he's got the voice. All right,
Spectacular. All right.
Mr. Stu, let's move on to the first question. This is like an introduction question. Obviously,
Yep.
for whatever reason, you were at our previous live stream about Tiny Who, and I don't know how you ended up there. Well, tell us how did you end up there, and also tell us just general thoughts. Just
okay. So the way I ended up there, I was sitting down. A lot of my days is spent on editing. I feel like that's not my favorite part of what I do, and we can get into that, but it is something that I want to get better at. So I enjoy the process of learning and like making something creative, even if the actual editing itself isn't the most exciting part. And I'm a little bit upset at you guys because I sat down to edit a video and I watched that whole 2.5 hour live stream, and I said I was just going to play it in the background and listen like on one monitor here. I didn't get a single thing done. Like I was like hooked from the get-go. I was like, what is this? And I thought, I usually stop into a few live streams here and there, and I quite enjoy them, but I will rarely watch the entire thing. Unlike this one, anyone who's watching should definitely watch this entire podcast. I should just say this live stream. But yeah, I watched the whole thing of yours. As far as without getting too into one side or the other, I think it's important to know that you never really know what somebody else is going through in their life. And I think I did leave a comment on there, and I just said, look, if I had a problem with one person, one of us has got a problem. But if I have a problem with 10 people, then maybe it's me that has the problem there. And just on that tiny whoop situation, I have definitely felt a little bit of resistance or had some friendly discussions in the past. I'm choosing my words very carefully here about trademark infringement and feeling some pressure over some stuff when I was making reviews or making videos or some things. So that I could 100% agree, or I could see from my point of view where these people were feeling that they weren't on the right terms with Jesse in that situation. So like for me, I had some personal insight to be like, I thought I was the only one that sort of felt like this, and I was a little bit worried about being ostracized from a tiny drone side of things, and whether that was intentional or whether that's just somebody's personality. I was like, oh, I would tread carefully around that area. And then when I could see other people talking about it, I actually thought, oh, it wasn't just me. And it took, I think Bardball did a live stream clip the other day where he mentioned some of these things, and that's when I really was like, wow, it's more than a couple of people that have felt like that. So I think it would pay for some of those individuals, or I guess if my advice to Jesse and some friendly advice, and this isn't business advice, would be he may completely think that he has not done anything wrong. And it would just be to have a reflection of like, well, why do these people feel like that? Is there something that I'm doing that I'm not aware is having this impact on me? I mean, if someone's being manipulative and so on purpose and knows they're doing wrong, well, that's their own thing to answer to. But it would be hard if I was that person and I was completely oblivious that I was making other people feel this way, and I would need to. And this would be some advice to say, well, why do other people feel like this? That would be my my advice to that. So that's my 2 cents on it, and also just how to help a fellow human. I don't want anybody to ever feel. I'm a big believer in positive mental health. So a positive takeaway. This is like you still do. To Jesse still has people that care about him, and this is some genuine advice from someone who is not even talking about drones at all. But if people were saying this and feeling this from my actions, it's just a moment to reflect, and it's never too late to do the right thing. Is a saying I try to teach my kids. Never too late to do the right thing, and it's never too late to become an even better person than you were.
So yesterday. You said that like if you hurt one person, maybe it's whatever, but if you hurt 10 people, then maybe you gotta think of how many people did you hurt?
How many people have I personally hurt?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the beauty. Like when because I actually spoke to my wife about this, and I was talking to her, and I think that out of everybody in this hobby, and I've been doing this for a long time, like I feel like from the not the birthplace of drones, but if you took back the lineage or the family tree of drones, and right when the 5-inch split from these big plastic DJI flame for whatever they are, those 450s, I was there at that time. So that's been a long time that I've been in this hobby, coming up on close to a decade. And I think there would be like one or two situations where I have got it wrong, and those people would have an issue with me. But I think for the vast majority, I mean, we're talking probably hundreds of people that I have dealt with, or like on an actual communication basis, not talking about all the subscribers or anything like that, but the vast majority of people that I have interacted with, I would truly feel like I don't really have much beef with some people. And I've definitely got things wrong in the past and everything. We can dive into that, but for everything that I've done, and I'm quite proud of the person, I guess, that I am, and the way that I have treated people.
Nice. Well, this is well said.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe if you guys have a whole bunch of character references here that you're about to pull up, where you're like, Stu ran my dog over, and
no, we're gonna post them all after the live stream is over.
Well, I mean, this is where I feel so confident for, like, if someone genuinely had something that they were upset with me, and they could put it here, and I would happily answer and talk about that. But I feel quite confident in my time. I've really tried to help people, and it's not just FPV. Like, what I've realized, when we can dive all into this as well, but just like to help people. And FPV is the best way that I know how to do that. And FPV is so life-changing and positive. And we got Mike is saying Stu kicked my dog. Yeah, well, that dog was trying to bite me, so you know.
And it's a small dog, right? Small dog doesn't count.
Yeah.
All right. So apparently, well, we have a friend. His name is Matt. Probably he's watching with his wife Erica. Hello to Matt and Erica. And I didn't know that Matt is a very old fan of Mr UAVfutures. Okay. And he was watching you from like the very early days. And once he learned that we're gonna invite you, he like dropped us like a lot of questions. And also Matt, he's a little bit weird guy, and he knows about that. So the questions, let's just start with these questions. Since we start serious, let's just bring a little bit more fun. So the first question from Mr. Matt, and just to picture you, Mr. Matt is like he looks like a very serious Dutch guy. He's like a very serious businessman actually in life, but when you start talking to him, like that thing kind of goes away a little bit. So his first question is, if you fly in Australia, do you have to put your props upside down?
No, but you have to like invert your throttle, so that way you have to sort of try to throttle yourself back to up to the earth instead of falling away. And thank goodness for that anti-gravity mode. If you can't fly without anti-gravity mode in Australia.
Yeah, and so his next question, I guess he wants to clarify. He's from Europe, and originally in Europe, they don't know much of geography. So he's like just confirming: is it Australia or is it Austria?
I'm trying to think of like some joke answer here.
You don't have to.
I was trying to be like, Austria, Australia. No, definitely.
We have a lot of this coming. So
yeah, no. Apparently, there's I think actually in Austria they have a sign that's like, "This is not Australia." So,
do you have this sign in Australia? This is not Austria?
No, they're like, "Oh, bad luck. The next boat out of here is like in about 6 months' time. So you might as well just grab a tent and hang out for a while."
Yeah, he's also asking like why you Aussies guys hate square gates. Is Aussie is like a insult? I don't know.
No, so I think Aussies is probably what the rest of the world refers to as Australians, but no one here. I would be hard pressed for someone to say I'm Aussie instead of like I'm Australian. It's probably like how we when they talk about shrimp on the Barbie. People love to bring that up. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We don't call them that, but I'll just entertain that idea. Call them
it's all Outback Steakhouse. That's
it. And people drinking.
You don't eat blooming onions every day?
I've never had a blooming onion in my life.
So is there a reason you hate square gates? Because apparently you don't fly square gates for.
Oh, okay. So I was like trying to think of like Outback like gates that people actually have on their farms. Why don't I fly square gates? I don't fly any gates, but that's purely a skill issue. but they take longer to set up.
They freaking do.
Rather than just
so
like a little
true.
pop-up gate you can throw in, like, oh look, it's done. I'm good
All
to
right.
go.
So let's dive a little bit deeper. Like the next question from Matt, not the last one, but we're gonna leave the questions for later. So a little bit deeper. So why did you and Grumpy Trevor broke up? Give us some drama first and foremost, he said.
All right, so I'll give you the lowdown. Grumpy Trev, where do I start? So this is going to get a bit messy. Is an absolutely lovely individual, and the real reason why you don't see him on my channel is that I live 2,000 kilometers away. So it is. I would love to have Trev here on the channel, and I'd love to go flying with him. I miss the old bugger. He was such an informative and just a genuinely good person as well. But he taught me so much about FPV, and he taught me so much about flying. And one of the things that I will forever be grateful for was like a really big emphasis on safety. I'm just saying it's not worth it. Like, don't like, because when you're a bit younger, a bit more immature, you want to do some slightly questionable things with drones. Like, this would be really cool to do. Imagine the shot you could get this, and it was like, no, this is not a good idea. Or I didn't have those ideas, but he always had that counsel of like, let's do this safely and let's do that. And I'm really grateful for that knowledge and direction that he helped me come to my understanding of how I want to fly and what I want to represent as well. But yeah, the real reason why he's not on the channel is that I moved 2,000 kilometers or 1,500 miles or something up north.
Well, Matt really wants to see him again on your channel, so maybe like you can give him a call or something. Call your expert,
Okay, yeah. Give him a buzz. I say, hey, look, we've got maybe I should go down there for a video or something. It's a small commute. We'll take probably 2 days of driving. But sure.
Yeah. All right. So and then we have a kind of like.
He actually, sorry, can I just say
Yeah.
And probably the sad part is that I don't think he's in this love with drones as much as he used to be when he first started out. And I think it really goes to show the power of friendships when you are flying, because now when I look at his channel, there's not very much drone content. That he was actually doing a channel for a little while. We're out there flying all the time, and it just shows the power of the FPV community and being involved with the people, as well as the cool technology and how much fun it is. It's the people that really make it special, and I think that's something that him and I had that was really, it was special. And without that, if I didn't have anybody to fly around with as well, I don't think it would have the same draw to going to fly.
Yeah, I think that's like really important. I think that that has to do with why I'm still around in a lot of ways. That I've like moved on, and some of my interests have moved on to other things. But it's like these fuckers that I'm sharing the screen with now that keep me coming back on the weekend. And sometimes I'll just show up on Saturday just to hang out and like maybe not even take my backpack out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
But like just there to hang. So, and then even at like big races away from home, that like half the time I'm going just to see all my friends more than like going to actually compete and race. So I get that for sure.
All right, so the next one, why we always rolling back to serious topics? Like it's, what the hell, Neil? So the next one is also a funny game that sometimes we play with famous YouTube stars, all right? And this is the game that's called, apparently it's like a classic American game. I wasn't aware of that, so they taught me this game. This game is called Who Would You Rather Bang?
Okay.
Are you familiar with this? Or no?
Well, like, no, go for it. I have heard of it. I've probably seen it in pop culture in American movies or
all right. So you just gotta tell who would you rather bang, and I give you two options, and then you just
Johnny Five.
Oh, all right.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the answer for everyone, right? But we exclude Johnny Five from now. Chris Rosser or UAV Tech?
Chris Rosser.
All right. Bardwell or Matt Stack?
Ooh, do they find out?
I think that depends on your performance.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I don't want any hurt feelings here, right? Like, I don't know. That's such a good one. Do you know what? I'm going to say, sorry, guys. I will. It's either both at the same time or none.
Oh,
I don't want any hurt feelings.
You like for the next question, you have to pick one though.
Great, yeah.
So you have to pick one. For
that question. For that question,
because also the next question. But for this question,
okay,
you have to pick one.
I at the moment watch more Mads Tech than Bardwell, so I will say Bardwell. I will say Mads Tech. I'll say Ian.
All right, Ian. So also, right, so we needed answer from you because we're also making like a little database of people and who they agree to bang with, and then we're just connecting people who agree to bang each other.
Thank you very much. Yep.
Yeah.
Swipe right.
Yeah. So DJI or Walk Snail?
DJI.
Really? I would think it's Walk Snail. You're like...
Oh, well, that's we can get into this whole thing. This is what's going to be
all
great.
right.
Yeah,
So,
we'll be able to expand and extrapolate.
Yeah, we probably will. So, so you picked Chris Rosser over UAV Tech, and then you picked DJI. What if you have to pick between DJI and Chris Rosser?
I'll just fly DJI. I'll go DJI.
Well, it's not what you fly; it's who would you rather bang.
I'll go DJI. Make some good-looking kids.
All right. Then the next question is from Matt. Gear best or Banggood?
Ooh, that's easy. I would choose Bangood over GearBest. I don't know if you've ever seen. And we'll keep these questions coming in fast. The last review I ever did for GearBest, they sent me 2 drones, and both of them were bad. And I kept writing back and saying, I don't want to do this. No one's going to be interested. Both of these drones broke, and they were like, you have to do this. They really pressured me. So I made a rap video about how bad those actually are. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I did a full Fresh Prince of Bel-Air parody, filmed all the cutscenes, and this is actually, I'd been to China and filmed inside their warehouse and showed their customer support tickets and like put it all into a rap and basically of like, buyer beware, this drone is terrible.
Oh,
dang.
So I'll take Banggood, long story short. Yeah.
Good, Banggood. All right, so Tiny Whoop or Micro Drone?
I'll choose a micro drone. I mean, I've had to. I don't want to infringe on any trademarks, so I'll choose.
Do you have your own trademark for UAVfutures?
I have a business. I have a registered business. I don't know if it's actually a trademark. Maybe I should look into that.
All right, Kiss or Flight One?
Kiss.
Kiss. All right, good. So this is the end of the Who Would You Rather Bang game. Some of the questions came directly from Matt.
Okay.
So let's start. No,
Matt or Matt? Oh well. Okay.
Matt. He's Matthijs Borlacha.
Sorry, I was giving 2 options between Matt and Matt if we were playing that game.
I see.
Yep.
Yeah. So also let's quickly go to the very important topic, right? Do you know who is DinDrones?
DinDrones, of course, they're the sponsor of this live stream. Anyone would know DinDrones. They have an awesome store that I'm sure we can put up on the screen somewhere.
If I'm fast enough, only.
You could definitely check them out and have a look at their frames, like the OZR5X, $59.99. Pretty awesome. Go check it out.
Yeah, so guys, this is a little bit announcement. This is our first official sponsor of the show, Spill the Tea, DinDrones, and he's a friend of mine. He's a friend of Neil, and he's even more than friend of Johnny 5, because look at that, Johnny 5 bit-rated open racer frame of my design, and now Johnny 5 flies this I don't want to say it's an awesome frame because it's competitor of Open Racer, all right? But all right, it's an awesome frame.
But it is the sponsor of the show, so it is.
Yeah,
pretty,
so
it is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's tough. So yeah, DinDrones, check it out. It's a very little store based in the United States, and they also supporting a lot of racers. They're like a MultiGP sponsors, and Din is just a great guy also. So yeah, check this out, and thanks for sponsoring this show.
Yeah, if you scroll down, I think my video is there on there. Hopefully he put it on there. And there it is. Yeah. Yeah, so the engineer that designed this is actually Red Bull Air Racing flight engineer as well. So That's why that's kind of a picture of this. So pretty interesting engineering going into this. But Open Racer is also really good. And that was designed by Yvonne. Better.
Can I just chime in here and
really
say
showing
that
the sponsor love? Yeah, what you got?
if DinDrones is looking at this and they would like to sponsor another live stream, there is some other live streams that sometimes.
All right. So
I looked at this and then when they said they were going to sponsor it, I thought I like money, and now I think these drones are cool. We should definitely.
So let me bring Stu on the big screen and
yeah.
So how much you charge for being a sponsor of your live stream?
I actually do have a sponsor of my live stream.
All right. You can tell us about that and how much you charge.
It definitely, so it's no finances, but it does help me and my family out. It is Central Coast Coffee, and there is a store here called Phaser FPV in Australia, and it's like the owner of Phaser FPV also roasts his own coffee, and I've known him for 10 years, but he sends me a bag of coffee a month or something like that, or a care package of coffee. So that's actually what I'm drinking now. But because because this is not the sponsor of this stream.
You can show it, whatever.
Well, this is actually a friend. This is Donnie's Cups. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of somebody called Don E, but he sent me a mug. This is not the sponsor.
It looks like Johnny 5 logo. No, Johnny 5. You gotta.
It does kind of look like me.
You gotta start the trademark war.
Yeah,
we've done enough of that. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not going down that road.
Yeah.
So I see Dean in the chat. Dean, so can you please reach to Stu and figure out how much he charges for live stream, and then just let me know. This is the plan. So the next question, since we start talking about money, and it also happened to be the first question. So, some people are very curious, and I'm not going to point fingers at them. So on the scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is like completely poor, and 10 is Elon Musk rich, how rich you are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody watching this video is going to be past 1, and that's a poor top end. Like, we really should be looking at the median price instead of the average.
Well, we're talking about. I like your thinking, because you're like obviously very from your answer. I guess you got like that you're very like technical thinking guy, and you're like, well, then everyone is like 1. But there's a caveat that this scale is logarithmic, right? So.
I went to public school. You need to explain that word to me.
It's basically like every point is extra 0.
Okay, like exponential.
So, yeah. I don't know. I forgot. Basically, it's exponential. Yes.
Okay.
Exponential scale, right? So
and
like
how
basically,
rich am I?
Yeah. So basically, like if 10 is Elon Musk, 9 is 10 times poorer than Elon Musk, which is still very rich, right?
Okay. Yep. And 0 is what? No money.
0 is like just no. Although 0 is not possible on logarithmic scale, but we allow that.
So what are you asking? How rich am I?
Yes.
Or how much do I get paid?
How rich you are? Yes. This is a very important question.
2.
2? All right.
Yeah. If we're looking at. But again, I went to public school, so I'm not sure how my maths is.
All right. What's your
confusing scale?
It is a confusing scale, right? Like, let's use something that the American public system can understand, please.
Yeah, well, it's like, because I have to ask this question, but I cannot ask directly, like, how much is your banking account, right? So we gotta like.
Okay. Okay. So you want to leave a little bit. Yeah, I would say, I think that it would be a better decision to me that if I didn't love this, it would be better financially to go back to using my degree.
Yeah, that's one of the also next questions. Like, do you regret that your hobby is FPV and drones? Because imagine if you did a YouTube channel about like day trading, right? Then how much more money you would have. Like, do you regret that your hobby is FPV for your YouTube?
Are we moving on to that question now?
Yeah.
You've said, okay, yeah. Satisfied with my logarithmic answer?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I might jump from question to question. So,
So do I regret that my hobby is my job?
Yeah, because not that your hobby, but that your hobby is FPV drones, because it could have been that your hobby is day trading, and then you would have way more money making YouTube videos about day trading, right? I would imagine.
I think well, you can't always you don't know what you're going to enjoy. So I'm it could have been anything I could have turned it into, really. So I don't do I regret that FPV is my hobby? Not at all. I love it, but I don't think that question doesn't track like anybody who's into their hobby. The hobby isn't the important part; it's that they're passionate about that thing. So do I regret that I don't regret that I don't regret choosing drones as my hobby. I don't know. Maybe I don't understand that question too much, but I think would it be cool? I think what you're really asking here, would it be cool if there was more money in FPV and FPV YouTubers made more money? Yeah, I think everybody would love their hobby to pay more. Would I swap my hobby for a hobby that makes more money that I don't enjoy? No.
Yeah, Johnny Five is like sitting right there and like, hell yeah, let's do it. More money, please.
Well, I mean, I've thought about that over the years, because after a few years and maybe a few hundred videos, like, you know how to shoot roughly, you know how to speak in front of the camera, you know how to edit, you know how to do all the things. And it's like, okay, what if I just picked something that people care about more, or that people might buy, or that cost more? And for a while it was like, well, I'm changing my camera every couple of years, so I know a lot about cameras. Maybe I should do that. There's way more money in that, and they cost more. But you have to have more knowledge than I only research what I'm going to buy next every 2 years. Yeah. I don't know every camera that comes out. I don't know how the companies compare against each other, and you have to be able to. But for drones, a lot of years I did know that. I knew exactly if you said, well, what about a Diatone 229 versus, you know, the Tiny Ape or whatever, like I could tell you like, oh, well, this one good, this one, and it has to be in there and just come out of you for it to be believable. And so it is hard, but I personally thought about that, like, God, what if it was something else I was into? But then you realize you have to like live it and breathe it, or else it's such hard work if you don't.
I guess for me, I have never thought about like changing it to, unless I was really passionate about something. But it's never been, finances have never been the driving factor for what I want to make content on. Like if I wanted to do that, I would just go back to my old job if I cared about finances. But this is so important to me, and like I can see a thing there, like passion is wealth. Like what I get to work on and the impact that I have. I couldn't do this for 10 years if I didn't truly, with all my heart, love drones and love not just the flying, but what they do for people and the community. And I think I couldn't do that. I've never thought I wish it was something else. Like the finances has never really entered that. If anything, it's been like, can I keep doing this, or do I need to go back and just do this on the side? That's probably the toss up. I mean, it would be great if there was something else, like if you did cameras or something. But I don't think for me, making the videos is not the priority that would make me switch. I mean, never say never. Like if someone's like, hey Stu, here's millions of dollars to do something, I'll be like, oh, maybe I do really care about coffee cup production or coffee roasting at Central Coast Coffee.
Speaking about, yeah. So let's so we have this question, and someone from the host marked it as boring with capital letters, but we have to go. So can you tell us, how did you start UAVfutures channel, and like what did you do before? How did you decide to start, and is it still your main like a platform that you live from, or you have something else?
Yeah, so this is my job. This is my career. But so what I did before, I was a school teacher. So, and it was what we call primary school here in Australia. So the classes that I taught were like between 8 to 10-year-olds, but you get a group of kids for the entire year. So I don't know how it's done in other countries, but in this country, so like say I'm teaching grade 4, those kids are like 9 and 10 for 12 months or something. So I was a school teacher for almost a decade, or like 9.5 years, something like that. And then I watched a video which was drones in the snow, and I don't know if anyone could find that or something. I don't know if it was a Vice video, what it was anyway, but these guys were flying some drones in the snow, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And it coincided at the exact same time when somebody else, one of the kids in my class, bought a tiny little helicopter. I might even have it because it means quite a lot to me.
Let's see.
I'll show you.
Yeah. Stu stand up and he's like in a panties. That'd be funny.
It's somewhere. Anyway, and this kid bought this little infrared helicopter to the school. It was like this big. You buy them at like Walmart, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like that's quite fun. So I went down to Walmart. I bought one like that afternoon. Took it to school. We flew it around, and then this all sort of happened within like a week or 10 days or something that I saw these videos, and I thought, oh, maybe I'm going to buy a drone. So I Googled, just something fun to get, and my first shipment was actually from Bangood, and it turned up, and it was this right here. So this is a little Hubsan X.
Oh, I remember that.
Right?
I think everyone remembers that.
I was like, this is so stable. This is crazy. Like from the helicopter that I had, and I lived also near a dog park. I'd take my dog out every day, like just open the back gate and he could run around this big oval, and he would chase this all day. It was so much better than throwing the tennis ball. I was like, this is really cool. And I would take this to school, and I would when kids get like little awards or pieces of paper, like, good job, Timmy, you're doing some reading, keep it up. Like you're trying to motivate them. I was probably one of the worst teachers in that, in order, like all the kids are doing their reading groups, and I would see some kid doing great work. So I would clip a little award to the back, and then I'd pilot it from my desk over to his desk and land it and give him a thumbs up, and he'd clip it off. That was, in hindsight, probably the most distracting reading lessons that we have ever done. Those kids would have been like stopping reading, watching this drone. Anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. And then my wife, her cousin's husband knew someone about drones because I brought it up one time at like some family gathering, and they actually contacted me about FPV, and he had an original Fat Shark set up, and he helped me buy my first Tyrannus and my first 250 size drone. It was all shipped from Bangood. I actually originally wanted to get a ZMR 250, but I didn't know enough, and I ordered the wrong one, and I got an Emax 250 Nighthawk, which had some, I don't think was as well designed. And then that turned up, and I built it all, put it together. I loved the experience and just like learning to fly. And the way that UAVfutures started was because I went to a local community and said, hey, I would like to, I went to like a hobby shop, and they told me no one's doing FPV, no one's doing drones. You should probably buy one of these big gas planes if you'd like to be part of this flying community. Because I'd only just discovered RC. I was like, I'd never done anything RC in my life before I was 25 or whenever old I was, maybe 27, I don't know. And it was that moment when he told me I need to buy that, and that community doesn't exist. You'd almost have to invent your own one. And I was kind of like, I felt a little bit disheartened because I felt so passionate and excited about this. And I thought, this is amazing. This is so much fun. And so then I just started to document my processes and things that I was doing. And like, I just wanted to talk to anybody about it. If I saw somebody flying drones in the park, and I once saw this guy flying, it was a ladybug. It was called a ladybug that a lot of people used to fly around. You could actually bind them up to your Tyrannus. For anybody who's watching in the last 5 years, Tyrannus is actually free sky. We used to have these old transmitters that were probably the dominant manufacturer, but they're sort of almost out of existence in FPV nowadays. But I remember seeing some bloke with a Tyrannus at the local park, and I like ran up to him, and I was just like talking at him excitement about drones. And my wife's like, did you pick up on any of those clues? That guy wanted nothing to do with talking about drones. He was like looking for excuses to leave. But I was just so oblivious. I was so excited about talking about it. Anyway, I was like, okay, let's make some content here. And it was purely just to share my excitement about it and maybe help some other people and share the discoveries of things. I never thought it would be this. I just wanted to document the process in terms of maybe this will help someone else get flying. Because there wasn't a lie. People don't understand too, it was significantly more difficult to build a drone. The
Yes.
knowledge base wasn't there as well to actually find the knowledge. Even if you had all the parts, actually having some technical information to help you diagnose and create something didn't exist.
No Bardwell.
Yeah, there was no Bardwell.
Yeah.
So
how are
it
you
was-
gonna build your drone?
Yeah, that's it. I wasn't going to learn anything today, so I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to start making some. I'd learned it, and I guess being a teacher, I was like, well, I think this knowledge is valuable. Let's just put this out there and have some discoveries, and then here we are, 10 years later. I quit
Yeah,
teaching.
it used to be so much more challenging, like you're saying, to build a drone or repair it. I can remember back in the day, like breaking something and then just being down for weeks, like trying to figure something out and like scouring the internet for some sort of like twinkling of information that may help me get around it. And in the beginning, it was also just like, I don't know, I'm just going to replace this part and see if it works, and then replace this part and see if it works. And like, there just wasn't a lot of help at all. And so it's because of like channels like yours that are around, and now Bardwell, and like, it's so much easier today. There's a lot of reasons why it's so much easier today, but it just was so difficult in the very beginning to get yourself back in the air, or first get yourself in the air, period. But there are way more build videos than there are fix videos. And so it's like, once you broke it and then trying to figure out what you need to do to get it back in the air can sometimes be the most frustrating thing, for sure.
And even just learning how to solder. I didn't know how to solder. Like, I remember taking apart some old computer electronics just so I could find the board. I'm like, I'm going to practice on this. And then once I had some ideas, I'm like, oh, this actually really worked. Like, I'm going to put a little claim to fame here that before me, people used to solder with like these helping hand, like little claws that hold wires. I was like, man, let's just use, we call it blue tack here. So I was like, I think that's where I was like, you'd be hard pressed to find someone else do that before me. But it was like a big stick of like almost chewing gum that you just press your wires in and solder it on there. And that was, and that was all just from like necessity, just using it, like some of those inventions.
So you were a teacher, right?
For 10 years, about a decade.
Maybe I missed it, but did you teach any specific, like math or?
So we didn't teach logarithmics. With those children, you get like 20, 30 kids for the year, and you teach them everything. So like English, maths, geography, like they're just your cohort that you will look after for 12 months. And
so then you found FPV and like you abandoned your kids?
Yeah, sort of, basically. Well, I was really jealous, actually, if Bardwell ever watches this. I was really jealous that he announced that he was going full time, and I'm thinking, man, I've got these plans. I want to do that same announcement, but I couldn't let my school know because then I wasn't going to get paid over Christmas. So I had to wait till the next year to be like, sorry, I'm actually leaving, guys. I've decided I want to do something else. So I was a little bit jealous, but around him and he announced he was quitting, and I would have loved to have quit at the same time, but I just couldn't tell my work that I wanted to, that I was going to bail and dip. But I didn't. I made sure I finished the year to those kids. I didn't leave my cohort halfway through or anything like that. Although I might not have been the greatest teacher in the last term.
That's cool. That's a cool story. Well, let's move to the first drama question.
Okay.
You ready? You ready for that?
Go, fire it away.
This is a serious drama. So
Spicy
can you tell
one.
us?
Okay.
Yeah, can you tell us what happened with HDZero Gox Buggles early release?
Sure can. So and if this is a serious question, this is probably something that I feel I'm a little bit sad and disappointed by all parties involved. I'm sure you guys are friends with Carl and Ryan, and I think, and people also think that I have some negative perception of HDZero products when, if you actually went back and counted how many times I say these are fantastic for racing, I like what they're doing, I like their innovations, they're making some really cool stuff. People love to take like spicy sound bites, and that becomes everything. From my understanding, I think there was a lack of clarification of like, do I need to sign an NDA on this? No. Okay. And he said, we just, want honest opinions and thoughts, which is fantastic. And then I went through the manual, and he did specify a launch date but I guess in my mind, I made the mistake and I should have clarified, because I've seen lots of companies that are going to do like pre-orders, or they're, you can buy it in a month or whatever. This is coming, but there's always a lot of hype before that, and they drop things and talk about it. So this is where I regret that there wasn't that clarification. And probably the saddest part for me in terms of like professionally was not that I didn't get the goggles or anything like that. Like, that's their prerogative. I just felt like I was a little bit hard done by when behind the scenes, and I thought about making a video about this, but just to keep it calm, and I encourage, if Carl has something, to put some other responses here down below, because I don't want to be like, this is just Stu's side or anything like this. I don't think this is fair for me to say without someone having the right to reply. But behind the scenes, I was like, okay, sorry so much. I'm really sorry that I went through that. Do you want me to delete the video? And then so I'm taking the video down. I was on other people's channels being like, please stop going through this, because this is not what HDZero wants. Like, this was my mistake. Trying to publicly own it all, take all the blame, trying to save some face for HDZero. I went onto Reddit. There were some Reddit posts about it where they'd put some things up, and I was contacting those people and saying, hey, look, this could be not what HDZero wants. I want a really strong, healthy market for FPV, for our community. Can you please remove this post? Like, I'm contacting these random strangers, and they're like, okay, sure. So I actually did get some people to take some posts down. And then on the side of that too, publicly saying, hey, this was all my mistake, like trying to sort of let HDZero off the hook a little bit, trying to encourage them. And then the sad part for me was then when I saw some posts from HDZero criticizing some of my videos, but it was more about saying it was more like a character attack or something, rather than criticizing what I was talking about and the products. It was more like Stuart is doing this for as a retaliation for not being included in the videos, which I felt is not. I didn't feel that was fair. After I just don't think that's a fair way to go about something. If someone wants to criticize a video about what I've done, break that video down rather than suggesting ulterior motives behind that video. So anyway, but with that all aside, and Carl says that he never wants to work with me again, and that's fine. And I still wish them all the best with their business. I think they make some really cool stuff. I think racers need and want a product like that, and they're bringing some really cool things to the table. And I think the important part that the more I want them to succeed, because it gives so many people so many options. Like, the more options, the better. If you are locked into one ecosystem, one thing, it's terrible for all us pilots, all us consumers. We're the ones that get shafted. Where I want them to flourish. I don't want them to flourish too much. Don't want them to be the dominant 99%. In a perfect world, they would have a equal representation as all the other goggle manufacturers or all the other systems. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So that's the long story short of like,
but
I went through the manual. There was a lack of communication. I tried to publicly take all responsibility, and then I felt hard done by.
But then
I didn't want to throw him under the bus.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So you released that video, then about like 12 hours or 24 hours, you removed it. And then like a day later, you made it public again. And that was still before the release date, or it was already after release date.
I think I'd have to go back and have a look, but this is well after the cat was like out of the bag. This is days after, like, Bardwell did a live stream on it. There was Bard live stream clips.
Oh, but Bardwell reviewed your video, right? So as far as I understand. So
yeah. But I'm like, but this is
Bardwell.
but once that information was out there was like no getting it back. And I think the difference was it. I don't even know if it is live. You can go back and try and find that. I don't know how long it was between that, but it was definitely. If I didn't care about HDZero, I would have not taken that video down. I would have not taken all the rap for that. You know, it would have been like, oh, this is great.
All right, then I guess for Mr. Carl, if he's watching, I'm going to send him links to this timestamp anyway. So, Mr. Carl, if you're watching, let's just all blame Bardwell, right? And then maybe you can still work with UAVfutures again, right? So, as from my understanding, that was misunderstanding, and that's fair. I guess I understand Carl because he was trying to protect other reviewers like me.
Yep.
Like honestly, because I got these Gogs Buggles and Neil got his Gogs Buggles, but I needed to do review on them, and I didn't care much, but I know some YouTubers would care about that if they're like not allowed to release. So I understand Carl, he wanted to protect, but if Carl, you think it was a fair mistake, yeah, we can just blame Bardwell and move on.
Did something else happen though after?
Oh yeah.
Did you respond to the, because like I think I saw that same Facebook post where Carl was like, I want no relationship with him, period, forever. And I was like, whoa, what happened? I was like, what?
So then there is, can I just say too, like, in the long run, in my personal opinion, I think that leak probably gave HDZero more exposure and more hype about something coming out for a product than maybe it was some big brain move of like, hey, let's do this. Like, in the long run, I think it probably had a better marketing impact than no leak at all. But that's not if a company doesn't want to do that. Like, it was a mistake that shouldn't have gone out like that, and that lack of that.
Yeah.
And even Carl said I should have clarified more. That's not just me. That's like both of us. We should have clarified more. But I think I have done some goggle roundup reviews where I break everything down, and I think that Carl is not happy with my feelings on the image quality of HDZero, which is a fine criticism. Whereas I would rate them like a 4 out of 10 in terms of image quality, but 10 out of 10 in terms of latency. I don't think there's one goggle that does everything perfectly. And the criticisms that I have for the goggle are probably high price and the picture quality for the everyday pilot for me that makes it not as worth it to somebody who's in the racing scene, which makes it almost like an absolutely no-brainer. If you really want to get the best of the best and have money's not a problem and you're into racing, it makes fantastic choice. But I am a very value-focused sort of everyday person in the park flying around, and I guess that's where maybe I value different things to what he thinks those goggles should be rated.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like when Carl sent me or Neil goggles, I don't think I'm completely positive about the goggles, and everyone knows what the image looks like. You can watch DVRs, and you can clearly see it's not as good as DJI, all right? And but they have their own advantages, and that's just up to people to decide. But anyways, Mr. Carl, if you're watching, maybe you can reconsider. And first and foremost, we just blame Bardwell, like I said. So
first and foremost, that's what we gotta do.
Yeah. do you get the first and foremost joke or no?
I do. First and foremost, right?
Yeah. You saw that all.
There was a lot of rights.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that should not detract away about the actual points of what that podcast was. Yeah, I get the jokes, but also too I want to clarify the seriousness of those discussions behind them.
But we can all make fun of some serious situations. Otherwise, how you live through them. So the next question: what about? I didn't know that, right? But when I was making my homework for this, apparently there was a story of someone impersonating you and sending fake emails.
Okay.
You know about anything about that, or just no? Someone was sending email
to get free products or what?
Like I don't know what exactly was he was sending. I just read on.
Is this
I forgot the link. No, it's pretty old. So someone was faking.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, that happens all the time.
So someone was faking your email, and he was sending emails from stu.uavfutures@gmail.com.
Okay, yeah, there's been a few, like UAVfutures official, UAVfutures.
Yeah, all right.
Australia,
so you got a lot of that.
Yeah.
What's their goal? Like, what's their purpose? Why are they doing that? Like,
they probably, to be honest, want some free kit or some intent that is not above board, right? So whether they want free products, whether they want to start some drama, whatever it's going to be, they probably have some motives that they can't do by just not impersonating me.
Yeah.
I have heard of that back in the day. because like say someone was like, oh my God, I really want to get my hands on one of those DinDrones OZR. They could use a fake UAV Futures email and say like, hey, g'day, I'm Stu. Send me some of your awesome frames. And then if Din wasn't paying attention and didn't notice that he's sending it to Detroit, he might get some free stuff.
It's completely ridiculous, right? When they should have just sent me $20 and be like, bro, I'll get this frame for you. I'll write it from my thing. Just pay me $20 and I'll be the middleman. Like, what's the problem there? But yeah, no. So you're definitely right there. People would impersonate me to probably to get some free product.
Johnny,
and sometimes you call them out and talk to the police and things like that.
Oh, really?
Get those things stopped. Yeah.
Johnny Five, are you like hurt inside that nobody's trying to impersonate you yet? That you're not that famous?
Well, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, a fake channel sprang up and they were just republishing my videos. And it was very strange because like it seemed random. It wasn't like they were the most popular videos. So they were like republishing a video that had like 600 views. And it was just a random review. It was so weird, but I kept finding more and more of them. Yeah, I'm guessing it must have been like a bot or something because I don't think anyone would purposefully pick that video. But yeah, very strange.
Yeah, that's definitely strange. I don't know how we fight it. Because do you remember, Stu, when you reached me first time, it was like before New Year on Instagram. And I was like, well, because I wasn't subscribed to your Instagram. And I was like, I'm not sure if it's you. And that's why I reached you over email.
Are you sure that it was me?
Yeah, it was you. Maybe you forgot. Yeah. Well,
or maybe it was.
Maybe it wasn't me. I mean, we have contact now. Or maybe.
Like the first email, because you messaged me allegedly. I don't know if it was you, right?
This is what I'm really considering. Like
you messaged me on Instagram, and then basically I send you screenshots because then I found your email on your YouTube channel, right? And then I send you email directly to you, and I was like, "Is this you?" Maybe you didn't see screenshots, and you just like, "Yeah, that's me," but maybe that's not actually you.
Unless I saw a video of yours, where is your contact information? Because I really like some of your videos, and I remember like some of the things we've spoken about. Unless your contact information was primarily the Instagram handle, so maybe that if that is the case, then I would have probably used that tool to contact you.
Yeah,
but I rarely use Instagram. If anyone watches this, don't contact me on Instagram.
Yeah, I found your. I looked through your old Instagram, and I saw
pictures.
Yeah, there are like 12 pictures, and I also noticed that in your old Instagram, that like the last one is like 100 weeks ago or something. Mm-hmm. But you have a lot of racing content in your old Instagram.
Okay.
What like they're like racing drones? It appears to be like some gates over here and there. So and I even found like one of your old live streams or videos or something. Someone was like even commenting that like the Stu is like stupidly fast. And what happened? Like why you're like not a drone racer?
So there's two things that happen. Not only has my skill decreased, the average pilot that is fast has exponentially gotten better and better. So when I think back to probably 2017 ish, when the Catalyst Machine Works America was released.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram too, from America.
I was probably flying 150 packs a weekend, and it was like on this track. It was a really cool track that I loved, and I was just like, I call it track flying, almost like doing time trial, like just keep going, like I don't know, just pushing it as fast as I could. And that's probably when I was at my fastest compared to the rest of the population, right? If you look at what pilots were like. And then those younger kids come in, drones get better, people start taking like racing more and more seriously, and just the ceiling level of the skill of the pilots just kept increasing and increasing. And I was probably more focused on just making content and other parts of it as well, and helping people. And for me, that's probably where I started going down in terms of my skill level, and the skill level just kept going through the roof. I did feel like I used to be a fast pilot.
But also, right, so the question, like, you don't have to be a fast pilot to go and enjoy racing, right? And
Yeah, okay.
I completely agree with you. Like when I don't, I spend some time on YouTube, and it definitely takes time from my practice on the sticks, right? And I definitely relatively not as fast as I used to be, but like we still go to racing, right? And like you can still enjoy. And we actually have a whistleblower on my email from Australia, and he says that he would love for you to support local racing community. That I didn't know that, but the racing community in Australia is quite big. Like they have some big races, and
Definitely.
and my understanding, the biggest support for drone racing community is to show up, and you don't have to win, just fly.
Yeah,
What do you think about?
and I think like that's definitely something after moving. I've been in touch with the local group here. Before your stream, I was texting a pilot from the local community, and maybe 2 weeks ago, or like whatever, not maybe it was on a Friday, the first Friday of every month, or the second, whatever it is. I was at that local event. They had like a Whoop meetup night, and it was incredible. Like it was such a awesome experience to go there, and I can't wait to go back. It was fantastic.
Nice. All right. So we get a promise from you that next year you're coming to Malta GPIO, right?
Well, I mean, we'll have to see how much those crowdfunding tickets actually raise, but sure.
Yeah. Well, if you open,
If we raise some tickets and accommodation,
hey,
if
if
there
you
is
open, you open the crowdfunding, and I'll donate some to that. That's for sure. All right. That's my promise. Whatever.
But
So-
luckily, can I just say the drone nationals here for Australia are in my capital city, so in the state that I'm in. So that's gonna be
Nice.
great. I'm gonna head over to them.
Hell yeah. All right.
I won't be competing. I definitely wouldn't even qualify to. There's like a bit of a involved process to get
Yeah.
flying, but just to go along and meet all the people, it was that
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to.
DinDrone is
Nice.
asking, are you far away from Rising Sun FPV, biggest X-class club in the world?
I don't actually know. I think their actual store location is a little bit more north. I think.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't think it's like a easy car ride. You'd be looking at like 4 hours plus, I think.
It might be worth it. Yeah. But anyway, so if you open the crowdfunding for your IO tickets, I'll donate some because, right, we got some serious money flow from DinDrones that's supporting this channel. I spent a little bit of that already on the haircut because on the previous live stream, someone was making fun of me that I look like Johnny Five. So I had to do a little bit of trimming. But the rest of the money, well, will definitely go to your ticket.
I think we all go to the same hairdresser person, right? The same barber.
Yeah. All right. So the next question, we're slowly moving to Johnny Five drama. All right. I don't know if John is ready for that, but the first question, and that's the last question from me. The rest one will be from Johnny Five. Well, for a little bit. Apparently, Johnny Five, a famous YouTube star himself, is blocked in your Discord. What the heck happened?
Okay, let me set the stage and give a little bit of background.
Okay.
And so, so there was a time where a lot of us were all flying together. I think I had already started making some content, and it wasn't just UAVfutures channel, but it was several of the channels all started. It was sort of like a dark period where a lot of different toy grade stuff was coming out. It was like Diatone had some success, Emacs had some success, and then everyone just started throwing crap together. And it was a period where people were showing up to find us when we were out there racing, because we made several videos that were like, come find us if you need help and whatnot. And they would. And we couldn't get a lot of people flying. It was just stuff that they would show up with stuff so old, or just like, so like, it just wasn't good. And so we would, sometimes I would see Vaughn, like, you know, spend half of his race day, like helping someone on the bench. And it was rough to see people go away. And some of those videos were on your channel, some of them were on other channels, but to me, like you were always like guiding people in the right direction. And so I was like, maybe this is not intentional. So I remember leaving some comments on YouTube and some on Discord that were like, hey, like you always, did us right, pointed us in the right direction, but like something's going wrong here. And we're seeing people come after these videos and they're having trouble. And I didn't know if you were still like meeting people in person at that time, because if we weren't, we wouldn't know. And so like, it was that person to person stuff that helped guide me to like, all right, I really need to be kind of responsible with what I say. And I remember the first time meeting somebody that had seen one of my videos before like they met me, and they like the look on their face was like, oh, you make YouTube videos for FPV? And they were just like, oh no, like I was like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're one of those guys. I'm like, oh man. So yes, and I think I must have did it too much in the Discord, because I don't think it was you. It was, but one of the moderators was like, up, you're done, banned. And eventually I unsubscribed from the channel, sad to say. And I had kind of, because every time I would, I'm going to go resubscribe now. And I'll tell you why, though.
We're making some love here today, not in a sexual meaning though, but some love.
Well, I'm not just saying that, because the reason I unsubscribed was because I kept seeing toy grade stuff come out all the time. And it was like, this is going to give us a headache, and it would make me frustrated. So I was like, I just can't do it anymore, because it was getting me frustrated. And then when we were talking to Jesse P last week, and people were bringing up little things, and he brought up the point, but haven't I helped so many more people than what I've hurt? And it made me think to like some of the words that I had for Stu, and it made me kind of reflect, if I think of it in that perspective, there's no way, even if some hurt was done. And I think I attributed some of that to him, even when it was other people like drone camps or whatever. It was like, to me, it was just like all the big YouTubers. And I didn't think drone camps would care, so I didn't really leave him too many comments, but I did some to him too. But I felt like Stu would care. And so that's why I was trying to like communicate in that way. And I don't think I did it the right way. And so when Jesse P was bringing that up, I was like, you know what? I should be thinking of Stu in those terms. There's no way he hurt as many people as he helped by any means. And I wouldn't be flying without the UAVfutures channel. I wouldn't have my channel without it. And I don't know if even the ship pilots would exist without it, because, it's just like that chain of events. And so I took a peek on several videos this week, and it looks like the content has like really turned around. I can tell people are watching again, because there was a time where it was like my channel was really small compared to yours, but we were getting the same amount of views. And I was like, something's wrong. Like people are not watching. And there was a time where it just didn't have that same excitement. And I remember hearing it in your voice like that. Those early videos, that's what really made me want to fly, because I was like, God, it looks so fun, and you could really see it in your voice and hear it. And I just wanted to have that fun too. And it was legit. Like with that first time flying, oh man, it's a miracle. And so it's been good to see you turn it around. And now I kind of would like to hear from you, like, because that was my perception of, maybe you just didn't know, or maybe it was just a dark time. Like we're not dealing with Sony products and Apple. So like it's all toy grade stuff. So none of it's like 100% reliable anyway.
So I guess the question
do you want me to unpack all that sort of stuff?
Please.
Can I just say thank you so much, Johnny? Like I think there's a lot to unpack there, but all really, really good, important points. And I feel like that's what I'm really, after doing this for 10 years, I feel I can be so transparent and open and proud of everything that I have done on the channel. So questions like that, to hear from somebody who, and it's coming from a place of love and caring for our community, means so much to me. And like, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about that. I got why you're banned, like number one, first and foremost, why you guys why you might be banned on the Discord. I would guess 99% that was not me that banned you. Like I don't use Discord as much but I also had the first Discord server for FPV. Before that, it was like Slack groups and everything. So we had like over 10,000 members in there. So it was quite a lot of. It used to be a lot more active, I guess, before COVID, and we had a bunch of mods. Like none of them were paid or anything like that. So I would doubt that it was me that banned you. I'm happy to go in and unban you if you ever feel like you're always welcome there. Why am I banned from Sock Puppet? That's from Chris Thomas. So,
Yeah.
But I can't speak to why you are banned. It probably, if I had to guess, if there was like some things, because we would get a lot of that flack that you're talking about. So maybe there were some boundaries. Like I'm sure that you weren't posting. We had some things like affiliate links and those sorts of things, or like people. I don't think you would be in any of those normal case situations that are easy to ban somebody for. I don't know the reason that you did get banned, and I'd have to go back and try and find some log from like 6 years ago or whatever it was. But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been me that actually banned you. I probably
No, and it wasn't, and that part wasn't really a big deal.
Well, I might not have even known that you were banned on there like that. When you've got 10,000 people on there, it was quite a lot to try to manage that for the community. Then the next part that I think I think, and this is a really important part of like you feeling a frustration at the videos that I was making and feel like they weren't doing justice to the FPV community. Would that be right? Like getting people flying is I wasn't doing them a service, or I was doing a disservice to the FPV community in what you would call the dark days.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it was like a specific period of time for like it was well after those first few years, and it was like a weird time in the hobby too, where we didn't quite have like, that was before like the iFlight Nazguls and stuff, that like when things started to get more reliable, but it was tough, and it wasn't just you.
Sure.
But I felt sometimes you could kind of tell like whose video they had watched based on like what they showed up with.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it was like, oh man, like, there's no worse feeling like whenever somebody feels like, oh my God, finally I found these guys. They're in the park. They all seem to know what they're doing. Like, I'm finally going to get to fly this thing. And we try for hours and then we still can't do it. And like, that's not to say like you didn't make the product, right? So it's like, so I think maybe I was attributing a little bit too much frustration there, but that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah, I think I think I make mistakes, right? I never have nailed every single review. Always learning, and a big part is too at the start. There's a couple of things that people might, in hindsight, like reflecting and looking in, that I have no education in RF or like frequencies or engineering or anything like that. And I only just discovered RC when I was like a decade ago. I'd never touched a single remote control. And so I'm still learning, going through these things. So there's a lot of things that I don't know that I'm really just sharing my experience. And I truly believe that out of everything that I have reviewed, I am almost like 99% confident, maybe 100% confident in I have done my best to deliver what I thought that product was doing. But I feel a big takeaway is people don't actually watch an entire review. So you will see a thumbnail and you will see a first part of review, but they're never actually, if you broke it down and looked at the review in entirety, the metrics don't show that. People often don't get to like pros and cons, or things I do like, things I don't like. And I was trying to think of some things like this because I was hoping these questions would come up. So a big one would be, a lot of people like to talk about the Wizard. I think it was like the Wizard, Eachine Wizard or something would be a great example. And by today's standards, is an absolutely terrible drone. But people also don't understand, if you were there from the very start, that Wizard, for what you get, had BioHeli ESCs. Like it had an F1 flight controller.
Is it Eachine Wizard?
Yes. Yeah, like the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that actually was pretty amazing and incredible for the price at the time. Like, it was almost unbeatable that you could build better drones, but they were significantly more expensive. And I'm such a value focused channel that I think And in my video, I'm having a great time with it. You can see me flying around with my friends. So it was never like I did a video and said, this is incredible, but mine caught on fire. So it was all very first-hand experience. And I think if you watched what my videos actually had and took notes, like let's say you did a little study on, okay, let's actually see how they go. On the video content itself, you would be, I would feel very positive about being able to defend myself in all of those situations and all the claims that I made. Now, the one part that I will say is misleading on YouTube is if you look at thumbnails and titles, you need to put something that's going to get there. So, and there's a one quad that I was trying to think of that matched this up in a negative way was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a 2-part review. So my first one, and I think the title was something like, is this drone of the year? And when you look at all the stats and the specs, it was incredible. But in the part 2, it was actually garbage. So, and I think if you have a title like, is this drone of the year or something like that, people automatically assume that you are saying this is drone of the year. Rather, like I know that's nitpicking, but that is a part of working in this industry of content creating, that you need to nail those thumbs and titles and thumbnails, or else no one's going to watch that video anyway.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, your thumbnails and titles a little clickbait, or you know.
Well, yeah. Well, welcome
but,
to.
I guess
welcome to watching this free content that you get to watch for free. Like, you know, if someone doesn't like that, if I titled my video, complete breakdown of the SkyViz goggles showing you their ABS plastic internals and measuring the screen, like no one's going to click on that at all. It's just not how. Look, I'm sure if we looked at the thumbnail of this one, we've got like interrogation and like there's a devil here and an angel here. Like it's just part of YouTube.
And that's what's happening, right?
Yeah. But that's fine. Like if anyone if anyone over 60 is watching this and they remember what a newspaper is, you will see newspaper headlines. Like they're exactly the same about sensationalizing one thing and then. But I also.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to forget too the second half of Johnny's question here.
Yes, please.
Of like the dark days, and if you're talking about like view numbers and things, you definitely do need to step up your clickbait game. I'll have to double check. I'll give you some tips, but absolutely, it helps. But the dark days for me, there was a period when like I felt like I was crushing it on YouTube and I was so motivated and so excited. And then we had COVID. I had my second child and well, I didn't. Thankfully, my wife had it, but it would have been quite painful if it was me. And we also had COVID and I really suffered through some mental health times. And I actually just saw a video the other day when I was cleaning out some hard drive space to make some archives of some videos and things. And one of them is me saying, hey guys, I know you haven't seen a video from me in 60 days. I'm not dead. And I was like, man, I can't believe I went 60 days without making a video. And that was just some really not great times for me of like, you know, you couldn't get out of bed. I was completely unmotivated to do anything. And a huge shout out to my amazing, fantastic wife, who is the most beautiful person in this world, that I'm so grateful to have her in my life and to have her love me. And I will love her for the rest of my life and through this life and into the next. She is almost impossible to describe how amazing that woman is. But to be in those really dark times, it's quite hard to continue to do. So that there probably was some dark days if you look at view numbers and things. And I've seen it in my channel that like I was losing subscribers. And if I look back now to like probably the last 2 years or definitely the last year, there's been like it started to uptick again, which is really, really positive. And I remember like it was kind of, it hurt even more seeing that, because for a while, like I felt like me and Bardwell, we both started at the same time and like we're watching our channels grow and then getting to 200K and like super stoked. And then I fell into this pretty bad depression stage for a while, and he continued to, I guess, absolutely smash YouTube and do an amazing, incredible job for the community. And I'm so grateful for that too. And I have no I'm really positive. I want everybody's channel to do well because I don't feel like there's any competition. I feel like the more people that get into the hobby, it is better for everybody. But yeah, that would be why there would have been some different view numbers and stuff as well a little while ago. I think because like not wasn't posting as much. I was probably feeling pretty rubbish. The products probably, I don't know if they were as excited. It's kind of like a hard time for me to remember a little bit. It feels like a bit of just a blind gray spot of depression in my life about 5 years ago or so. What a positive
Yeah, so
I don't know if that answers it, but I would also like to say, Johnny, like I think the part that I really take away here is that you, not only is there some great reflection and thinking, and I think we all need to do that as humans to look back on our own lives and say, okay, what impacts am I going through? How do those impacts affect other people? And maybe that's why people banned people, because I feel like the core group also that I had might have known what I was going through, and maybe they were trying to shield me or protect me or help me in that situation. But what I really love about this hobby is just like, have you ever heard that thing, like the smaller the divide, the smaller the difference, the bigger the divide, and people can get really nitpicky about small things. That could be another thing I've got to stop saying. I've said nitpicky like 3 times this one. Am I right? And you love this hobby. We all love this hobby. The people watching this love this hobby. And we are in so similar in so many ways. And the internet can really distort people's feelings, or one comment can really get under the skin. And I'm not saying that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by any means. And I'm sure that I've said not the best replies to people as well. But Johnny, I bet you if you look over to in your studio where you are now, there's probably a very small Venn diagram where me and you would be in this Venn diagram, where maybe you do have like a Soundwave masterpiece transformer in the background of people who actually know what that is. Is that true? Like I can see you're muted here. You've muted your mic up there, and if you look in the background here, you might not ever have noticed, but I've got like some masterpiece like Star Screams and some old 80s transformers in the background here. Like there's probably a small Venn diagram of people who know your hobby, which, you know, I don't know how many people I could probably rattle off all the transformers you've got there, versus you could probably rattle off all these ones right here. And we both love FPV and we both make YouTube. And when you put those into a graph, man, we're so similar, brother. Like we're so much alike, and yet somehow the internet can sometimes twist and get under people's skin, and we don't realize that we're people here, and we would probably be fantastic friends if we were hanging out in real life.
Yeah, no doubt. I think during some of those times, I was taking the frustration that I was seeing from people in person and maybe targeting it a little bit too much towards you. And so like that, I think that reflection though, but I will say, seeing you and a few other people, and I do remember you posting that update of like, you know, it's been a while, I'm still here, you know, you're going through some stuff. And, I feel like it was helpful to hear you share that. I know that must have been difficult, and, it did help me whenever I was like making content during that time, and I saw a few other larger channels like post like going through some similar stuff. And I don't know if this was true. This is like my takeaway, but I noticed like when you first get some stuff for review, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody sent me a drone, and I just have to like go fly it and say what I think about it, which I would have done that anyway. It feels like you just discovered, you know, a pot of gold or something. But like once you've done a few hundred of them and the new whatever is coming out, if it's not something that you would have bought, then it's just like work. And I remember there was a time where I had 3-4 things like just in a line that I needed to like go out and fly, and none of them were things that I really wanted to. And when I saw some of you guys having some trouble, I was like, and I don't know if this was actually connected or not, but it made me think I need to start saying no more. I need to focus on what I actually like about FPV, because the channel or YouTube dollars or whatever aside, like having this hobby for so long, it's it's unprecedented for me because I'm the kind of person that would collect a hobby. I would do it for 6 months, do it for a year, and then change to something else. This is the longest thing that's kept my attention, and I didn't want to ruin that. So like my channel ended up focusing more on racing because that's the kind of stuff that I normally do. And if I couldn't work it into my normal day, and like what's more, I'll say like if it was going to take away from me putting in race packs that month, it wasn't worth it. And so I was like, I felt like I was able to avoid some of those pitfalls by what I thought was learning from what you guys had kind of gone before. Like, and I started saying no so much more. And I feel like it helped the content improve because then I was actually excited about the thing I was seeing because I wanted it. And that was like a subtle difference, a lesson I had to learn. I think it would have took me longer to learn if you hadn't been sharing like what was going on with you.
So, John, you guys loving each other too much. Like you gotta, like.
Is that too nice? I mean, I feel like
yeah, like that's
You
supposed to be
weren't
Mr.
critical at all. Like
Mr. Nice's role. Bring it in, John. Bring it in. What products that that UAVfutures promoted that you don't like or even hate? What, like, just tell us, or you're full of shit.
I think the Wizard was a good one, and there was a lot of toy grade stuff coming out for a while. And this is not like just a UAVfutures thing. There was a toy grade like epidemic for like 2 or 3 years in the like maybe 2018-ish time frame, and it's because like 2 small drones had success. It was like the Emax Baby Hawk and the Diatones, and then everybody was like, I need to get in on that money, and people just started pumping out junk, and it was
I
like
think
really turning people off.
My challenge would be to go look at if you look at what those things, if you're lumping me in with there, to actually watch my videos of those, and if you critique them, I could be misremembering this with rose-colored glasses, but I feel pretty good about everything that I've stood behind. And if you look at there's probably 2 exceptions, or maybe 1. If you look at the Wizard would be a great example. So what I speak about and what I do in that video is probably, you can see the excitement coming through. The one where I feel like I was immature in terms of a reviewer, and people love to bring this up, and it was like 8 years ago. So you got to remember, like, a lot can change in 8 years. I've done a lot of learning in terms of like research and what makes a good review and that sort of stuff, because I feel like I am a review channel. Is if you look at the Sheen goggles, like they did one that were like a Fat Shark style goggle, and people don't remember just how expensive Fat Sharks were. And I guess like I really am a value focused channel. I think if this was me working and I had to spend my own money on this, what would I buy? Would I buy this product? And that is probably where I base a lot of my reviews from, and in terms of like, is this good value for money? Is this too expensive? And I was quite like, when it comes to those goggles, I wish I did a better job at demonstrating how small that screen was, because in my excitement, I was like, we have another option here that's $99 for people to fly versus $300 or whatever dollars. And I am probably one of the few pilots that really cannot stand the EV800Ds. And it would irk me that other people would say, hey, these are great goggles. And I'm thinking, man, do not buy those. That's really, I hate those goggles. They hurt my eyes. I physically can't fly with that. And I would much prefer to fly the EV100s, I believe they were called, about 7 years ago. That's probably one where I can understand people's criticisms. And again, that's like one video out of 1,000.
So that's the thing. Actually, I got not a lot of. It's hard to quantify. Or I say it. I got 5 questions from different people, and they're all calling you shill.
Yeah.
But nobody brings the concrete examples. Like, where did he hit a dog? Like, tell me what products you think he shilled for.
Exactly.
So do you have the product that you think you shield? I don't know how to pronounce. Sorry, too much.
Shill.
Do you have the product that you think you shield?
I'm not going to use the term shill, but I definitely think I did a poor job at showing the size of the screen of the EV100s 7 whatever years ago. I think that'd be the one that people like to bring up a lot. And it makes sense that people like target that, right? Because I was probably the biggest YouTube channel at the time saying these things, and there were some other channels that can often be some people also like negativity, right? So if their tactic to get views might be to like absolutely stomp on something and stomp on some other people to build an audience to do that. Like some people farm hate, some people farm love. It's just whatever community that you want to build. And I think if anybody who was serious and wanted to back it up and said, "Hey Stu, you're a shill," the really easy response is, "Okay, just spend 5 minutes, watch some of these videos, and do it." If you actually did an analysis and you said, "Hey, look at these points, look at that, that's not correct," I would be like, "Oh, sure, you are right," but I believe that everything that I've done and represented is pretty bang on accurate to how I'm feeling about a product.
Well, that's what we kind of expected from Johnny 5 today, but he failed us. He's like,
yeah, well,
he's
just get him to send you some things. Like if you look at my last videos,
yeah,
I think my last one was not. I did one for TBS yesterday, but the one before that's like everything wrong with the Skyviz goggles, and then the one before that was this super cheap toy grade kit, and that actually came from my live stream where I was saying, "Hey guys, this product, they've sent it here," and I got that to give it away. That was sort of the stipulation. Oh, okay, we can give one away. Maybe someone will like this, so I can take some time out of my live stream because it will help one of the people watching. And I was like, I canned the product basically, but I was like, look, I hate this type of product. This radio's garbage. I'm not going to want to use this. But anyway, let's see how it goes because they sent this here for the sponsor, so you guys can have one to give away. And I actually had fun with it. So then I was like, oh, I'm going to go and make a video of this with my kid flying this around. And if anyone goes to watch that, I don't think there's anything I say in my videos that is not representative on my experience with the drone.
So once had a concrete example. I don't know if it's related or not. So I don't know what he's talking about, but maybe you know. If you don't, you just can tell, hey, I have no clue.
Yeah.
So he says several comments about a wiring issue in the 99 budget build video. Some thinking you did not fix it, so it won't mess up YouTube algorithm. Is it true? How many burned VTXs?
I don't know what I can't remember what we're talking about in this specific example. And if I've done two $99 builds.
All right.
But I don't think, what is there something that I need to change or something in terms of the wiring?
All right. Yeah. Well, message to, what was that fake email? Stu UAVfutures@gmail.com.
Yeah. And then again, but if you look at what people are getting upset about, if someone's like, "Hey, you're a shill, what about this?" There's a video for 7 years ago on probably parts that don't even exist anymore. And if that's the examples that you are pointing and saying this is why this is not a good representation for our hobby, I think it's better to take a step back and be like, man, what is Stuart actually doing for the hobby? And if you look at the library of videos that I have and the positive messages and especially of just getting people flying and enjoying life and being positive about an amazing experience that we can do in FPV, I think, like Johnny 5 said, if you look at the harm versus the good that I've done, I feel very proud of everything that I've accomplished in here.
Yeah. I mean, so I will say though, and I don't, maybe this only happens with
you got to be short though,
because,
Johnny 5.
Yeah, maybe this only happens with us because a lot of times we're interacting with people in person, right? We travel to different cities or different countries for races, so we get a lot of that face to face. So like if you get something wrong, you're going to hear about it. And I don't know if you're not interacting in person as much, if you would hear about it. And I will say, I haven't noticed any issues in the past year or two. So like if you're talking about my last video was good, no, I could tell because people are plugging in. I think it was mostly issues from a few years back. And we were wondering, or I always wondered, is there extra pressure? Because I never had a problem saying this is garbage. And there's some companies that I would say this is garbage and they would never send me another product again. And I would make no affiliate dollars off of it, but I wasn't eating off of this channel. So I didn't know if there was extra pressure because, ultimately if you're living off of it.
Yeah, there's extra pressure.
Well, let me just say that normally that's not the case, but for DinDrones, if they would like to sponsor, there's they want to sponsor the live stream.
Like you haven't flown their frames, but they're so awesome.
Anyway,
So
but no,
best
that's a
frame
great
ever
question,
not
right?
flown.
That's a bit of humor. I love using humor, but let's not detract from what you're actually saying. You're saying, am I feeling financial sponsorship pressure to give a positive review or a shit review? And I 100% do not feel any pressure at all. And there has been times in the past, like if I have a look where I think one of them was a Holy Woo or something. They paid me $1,000. This is in the when like $1,000 to do a review, and I think I say that in the video, and I call that an absolute piece of garbage in that video. And I got a very angry email from them, and they told me they're never going to work with me again. So I think that's there's the financial thing has no implication on whether something is going to seem positive or seem negative. It is just purely my experiences with it. And I think like I try to make it very clear too if something is sponsored. Like I did a video towards the end of last year. It's very rare for a sponsorship to come up. And I was like, I can't do this VTX video. Like, what am I going to do here? And they're like, please, 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 we'll even sponsor it. So I was like, okay. So in my video, I'm like, hey, here's a VTX. I didn't think I'd be interested in this, but then I got paid some money, and now I think it's cool. Like that's actually how I start the video, like to make it clear. Like, hopefully people can read into that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just go through, and I'm like, and if you watch that video, if someone can find, it's like an AKK VTX or whatever, around the start of December last year, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't really like this. I'm getting these weird dropouts. I haven't enjoyed using this. I don't really like it. So there's two examples, an old one and a recent one, where there's no pressure for something to be good or bad. What I really have allegiance to is how are people going to enjoy this product in the field? Is this the right drone for them? Like, and that's probably where I think very carefully of like, is DJI right for them? Is HDZero right for them? Is Walksnail right for them? Like, I want to make sure they've got the right information for the sort of flying that they're going to want to do. How do they get the best time? Because I've got a saying, and it's not about having the best gear; it's about having the best time.
Who's Walksnail right for? I mean, I'm just curious, about that.
So,
yeah.
So I've changed a little bit. So if you would have had a look at 2024, I was a big fan of Walksnail.
You were.
I've actually,
yeah,
I really liked it, and that is because my favorite drones. Unfortunately, I don't have any here. I've kind of cleaned up a little bit before this while I was waiting around for this live stream. But those little lightnings from like YMZ FPV, those little 2 inches or the Draknite size, I love them. Like they are doing everything for me that I want out of FPV.
You're talking about this Welly FPV Eagle 2?
That's a new one. That's a new one that I absolutely love. But if you look at the one before that kind of kicked that off, that was the Lightning V2, which is a slightly different craft. But like that is just everything that I love about the hobby, and Walksnail was the only one that offered a small form factor that could fit in those VTXs, so I could get around with what I would say 8.5 in terms of video quality in that small little form factor, and that is why I liked Walksnail. DJI I didn't like as much because those air units were a lot bigger. I couldn't put them in those craft, even though they had superior whatever, like DJI's got superior image, and also the $200. I don't know if you guys have ever tried the $200 $199 Walksnail box goggles. I loved them.
I've not.
Like Houston, we're like almost nobody has Walksnail, and it's kind of a joke here around. I think because of Johnny 5 though, but
have you tried them, Johnny? The box ones?
I've not, but I used to kind of
missing out, man. Can I just say honestly? Like,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, like you will see, and this is how I know that if something is good or not, because I will go back, and if you look at my channel content, and I know it's a lot of work for someone to do, but there's so many videos where I'm actually flying them over the Goggle X's because I truly like them so much. That shows how good a product is. And I also have no allegiance to any brand, if that makes sense. I feel like more than any other pilot, I've been very malleable in what I think is right for the time. So when everyone was flying Fat Sharks, was the only person making content who was flying Sky Zones. And I think Sky Zone probably owns a lot of their success in terms of they're probably like the popularity from what people saw on my channel. For a long time, I was the only person flying, it was like a Turnigy iFlight radio. I had a Tyrannus. I just happened to like this cheaper, this iFlight Turnigy radio because it was like this thumb gamepad style. And that might not have been what suited most pilots out there, but it was what I like to fly. And people were like, oh, there's a good example. That's a Shills radio or whatever. I was like, man, I love this radio. Like it feels like a bit of a cheap toy, but I'm doing my best laps using this. I like this style of radio. I flew Walk Snail when everybody else was flying DJI because it wasn't right. Like DJI wasn't right for the sort of flying that I wanted to do. So I don't know. That's I don't know. I forget sort of where I was going, but I don't think anybody has chopped and changed and been against probably what the majority of people like, or what is seen as the most popular, more than I have. And I purely just show people what I like to fly and what I enjoy.
So
I don't mean brand allegiance, I guess.
So you mentioned that sometimes you get paid by companies to do some videos, and sometimes you do videos. Although I understand you saying that you're still trying to do honest videos, and you even gave us example. But still, like, I'm curious, how often do companies pay you, or at least trying to pay you? How often they trying to pay you, and how often you accept it?
Probably like twice a year, and it'll purely
so
because
if
it's not much at all. If I'm like really busy, and I'll say, hey, yeah, we can do that, but if you want your product, and it's also if it's something that I think maybe I can't even do this, and it's like, oh well, I'm going to get some extra income here, and I really want to make it clear to the viewers, like that VTX video. Oh yeah, great, I got paid for this, and it was like an extra day's video that I've put into my schedule on releasing.
And all right, so if it's like twice a year, I believe they don't pay you like $500,000 for that,
no,
right?
No,
it's
not
like
at all. No.
I wish. And but then how do you make living from that? Because I would believe that you gotta have a channel with like millions of subscribers on YouTube to get some substantial money from YouTube. Like, what's how do you get money from that? How do you make living?
I probably make significantly more than what people think.
More?
And sorry.
Sorry.
I probably people probably think I make significantly more than what I actually do, and I would be much better off if I just went back to teaching.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
All right.
It's purely because I value what I do and the impact that I have on people's lives, and I really mean that in terms of not just flying, but like a positive mental, just improving how we can experience living, right? So I've realized over the time of what I love FPV, but what I truly love most is helping people. And I think that's why I was a teacher, and that's what I do with FPV. And FPV is the best way that I know how to improve somebody's life. And we can get into that, but I would be much better financially off if I just went back to using my degree and being in the classroom.
I want to talk about that for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned that several times. I think it's a really valiant goal. I mean, not only to help people improve the enjoyment or the joy they can get out of their life, but just improve their life in general. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about your stance in that, and like how it is that you go about, or like what about that drives you to continue to do what you're doing?
I think how have I stayed so passionate about drones is just the impact that I've seen. Like, I know people who are alive today that said they would not be here anymore if it wasn't for FPV and the community, and just the positive impact that we can have. Like, we look at people who might have been addicted to a whole bunch of different things, and like FPV was the community was the motivator that got me out of this hole, or people who have changed their life in such a positive way. I look at Bot Grinder when he talks about his life before drones and his life after drones, and you look at other people. I look at there's a guy called Donnie that I know that I did a competition which was like has FPV changed your life? And I gave away a pair of Fat Sharks and radio and a drone. Like, it was a really cool little setup. We've got all these different competitions, and there's a gentleman called a Spoony J or Westside. I don't know if you've seen Westside do any productions. So that was an entry where I was like, hey guys, and that they were like, hey, we wouldn't have been here without this. And just seeing the impact there, and then me, I think, being vulnerable and letting people know that, hey, Stu's going through something. I don't feel so alone. For them to have some reflection of, oh, I don't have to feel isolated here on the other side of the screen. There's somebody who experiences what I'm going through and is talking about it, and just trying to remove that stigma to become just don't feel alone. You know, it's like I want to help people. I feel like that's something that is worth more than the funds. It's worth more than the dollars, or worth more than going back to teaching. Even though I love teaching, I love like helping people learn. But now I get to help people learn. I get to teach people about a hobby that I am passionate about, and I also get to and see an impact of like what it's having on people's lives, and seeing the positiveness of this FPV community. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but it's something that I just want to make clear, that if anybody ever watches this, please just know that you are valued and cared about and heard. And I know, because I've been there in the past when I felt like that. But you don't have to feel alone, and I'm letting you know that you are welcome. And this FPV space is incredible and so supportive. And please reach out. And for me, a big thing was talking to a mental health professional when I was suffering through depression. And don't feel like you have to suck it up or be a man. You can just, it is not weak to speak. And I know what it's like to feel like just maybe the one person who's listening to this might be feeling right now. And I would like just to let them know that you are cared about. And I'm truly grateful that you are part of this community.
Well said.
That sort of took over there. Yeah.
No, that's fine. A very similar question, surprisingly, a very nice question from Mr. Matais Borlaha, who left a bunch of weird questions. So his question is, how do you deal with keyboard pilot drama? How do you cope and recover and get back on the horse? How do you feel FPV pilots are causing a disproportionate amount of mental hurt to others?
I mean, there's probably some pilots out there that like to be a bit of a keyboard warrior. I feel like over time, it definitely did used to affect me a lot when I first started out. Nowadays, if I see a negative comment, I think it is just, you just need to understand, first and foremost, the person who wrote that comment may be, you don't know what they're going through. So I don't have any malice towards them. Whatever they've got going on in their life, I look at what I'm doing and the life that I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm very grateful. I'm very happy doing what I do. And they're in a different circumstance, and I don't know what they're going through. So I don't want to push back towards whatever they're doing or rebuttal or anything like that. That's not my business. And one of the best ways that I have a saying that I use with, so the gentleman on my channel, I call him Stickman Steve. And sometimes he's gotten a little bit not upset, but like, hey, look at this comment. Like, they don't understand the true situation. And my response is just kill them with kindness. Like, if someone is really rude to you, one of the best ways to disarm that and maybe make them reflect on that is just be really kind and be considerate back. And some people might, like, kindness is not a weakness. And then it's like, oh, what? I've just like completely gone off the deep end calling Stu out here. And he's wished me all the best and said, hey, thanks for caring enough to leave this comment on this channel, or whatever it's going to be. Like, that brings that person down to where maybe we can get to a resolution here. Maybe they can take that anger away and see something else, or have a small part of reflection. So I think that it's easy it is to say ignore that stuff. It's taken me 10 years to be able to ignore that. But my advice to dealing with it is to kill it with kindness. And there was a gentleman called Final Glide. I don't know if you know who that is. Does anybody know who Final Glide Oz is?
Yeah, from Rotor Riot.
Yeah, used to be. Yeah, he was like the first.
Oh yeah, original.
Yeah, the first drone nationals champion in like 2015.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him on the phone one time. Right, this was probably like 2015, 2016, and he said, it's like when you go, and I never forget this, it's like when you go to a restaurant, and if you look at the reviews and someone has let that you, if you are going to leave a review, man, it has to be an amazing meal for you to leave a positive review. But if the waiter dropped your fork or if someone burnt your toast, you're probably going to leave a negative. People are so much more inclined to leave that negative review. It almost has to be like a tenfold factor for you to do positive. This is the best meal I've ever had in my life. Now I'm going to write a review. If it's just a great meal, a lot of people won't do anything about it. But if it's a little bit bad, people generally will jump on the negative bandwagon a lot quicker. So you just need to reflect on that. So even if you're seeing some little ones, look at all the positive ones that you were getting. And I was getting so many positive reviews that those negative reviews or negative comments, they're just, when I actually look at the grand scheme of things, they don't really hold any sway. But they did affect me. And I can give you some situations where they really affected me was when your peers, you never know what someone, you never know the impact you are going to have on somebody else's life. And somebody that I look up to did a comment one time in a video about me, and I was gutted. Like, I mean, like sleepless nights of like just feeling completely betrayed. And that person was actually Bruce from XJet, and he doesn't realize what he did. Maybe you'll see this. Whatever. I love Bruce, and Bruce is always really positive and supportive back. Like, I don't think he meant this, and this is a perfect example of the impact that somebody can
Was
have.
it the video where you saw, like the video about DJI, that you were worried that DJI gonna kind of swallow our hobby, or is it different?
No, nothing like that. No. This is going back a long time, where it may have been a wizard video, it may have been a maker. I don't even remember what the video was, but in me reviewing a product, I had taken it apart, trying to learn about it, and there was like a little cutout in the side, which was used for your USB plug. And so when I put the drone back together, I was like, oh, okay, I put it all back together, screwed the top on, whatever, did my review. And then in Bruce's video, he said that, oh, I see. And it was something along the lines of like, where you're not calling someone directly out, but you're implying something between the lines, like, oh, maybe Stu's been a little bit sneaky here. You know, you never know. You got to watch it. I don't have affiliates in my channel. Like something along those messages, where he said that the stack had actually changed because he couldn't plug his in. I'd rotated the stack around 180 degrees or something, so the USB port was on the correct side. Now, I never did that on purpose. I just assumed in taking apart and putting it back together that that's how it was meant to be. But then when I saw his review of that and saw those comments, I was truly broken for a little while for someone that I had held and still do hold in so much esteem. And we're still, I would call him a good mate today. Like I still talk to him a couple of messages here and there. Legend of a person, but that's when it really hurts, when you feel like there is a betrayal there, when you can't see if you've done anything wrong, and then a comment like that comes along. That's when it stings. That's when it gets through the armor, because it's not the reality of the situation, where the internet is not the reality of real life. And if you're being misrepresented and then other people jump on, that's when it can feel, that's when it hurts.
Well, Bruce is in our list of people who we want to invite. We're not sure if he will join, but we will definitely ask him for that. We'll be like, well, you heard UAVfutures. What are you gonna do about that?
Well, make sure make sure that there's context around there, though. That he
no
not have
context.
So Yvonne will provide no context for sure. Yeah.
So so given that, what have you done or explained to people either in person or online when you did get it wrong and you knew you got it wrong? And the reason I asked is because I had an example of this probably 2 years ago, where and it was the original HDZero goggle release, the analog capability. And I had seen the functionality working at International Open, not on a goggle, but on an early version of what would have eventually become the Event VRX. I could see that the de-interlacing was making the analog picture look better than it normally looks in a pair of analog goggles. We had all these pieces of ingredients, and so in my review, I could see when I put the goggles on that improved picture, and I mentioned in the goggles that you can sell your Fat Sharks and only have one pair of goggles. And what we found out in the months after actually using it was there was like a slight issue with the way it would lock on to the channel. Yvonne might remember this, but like for just flying around like a tiny loop, it was fine. But if you were competing, that little bit of a laggy thing would make it to where you wouldn't want to use it. And they fixed that now with the new HDZero
Only the new goggles.
version.
Only the new goggles. Yeah. So
Yeah,
John
the
is,
new goggles.
Yeah, John, do you
fixed
feel
it.
like you were a shill for that video?
yeah, John
I
is
feel
a
like
shill.
I got it wrong. I feel like I
Yeah.
got it wrong. And there were people even in our local community and at races that said, I bought these because I wanted to use one goggle and I'm not ready to switch to HDZero on my quads yet. So I bought it specifically for analog so I could sell my old goggles, and now I can't do that. And it's because you told me to do it. And I think Bardwell or some other big channel, like also like I wasn't the only one that got caught up in that. And I think, I don't know if it was that issue or another issue around the same time, but he actually offered to, if anyone feels that harshly about it, contact me and I will buy them from you. It was that big of a deal, but like I couldn't do that. So all I could do was like, sorry, bro. Like but I felt really
Sorry,
bad
Brian.
about it. So yeah, sorry.
So,
Brian.
Stu, do
like,
you ever feel like you ever found yourself in that situation, and what'd you do about it?
I've definitely made some mistakes in the past where I've gotten things wrong, and for me, this is like, you know, like I said, it's like I tell my kids, it's never too late to do the right thing, and you, in my experience, when some things like that, making a follow-up video and being like,
Yeah.
yo, and I've done this, like, hey guys, I got this wrong, so here's what it is. They've sent this out. I actually explained. It depends on the impact level, right? Like, you're not
Sure.
going to do that for every single thing. I misnamed something and called something a tiny whip instead of a tiny drone, or whatever it's going to be. But if it's actually a big impact, I think it was like I'm from memory. One of the examples is like a jumper radio that I said did something or didn't do something, and I went back and said, hey guys, I'm really sorry, I've made a mistake, I've done this. And the crazy part is, for anybody watching this, that because we are people connecting, like most of us here except for Ivan, we are people, and when we connect, they see that human response, and the apology and the ability to be malleable in your decisions means so much than just being right all the time. And I think that's what people truly value. And that's what people who are watching your videos, and I'm sure, Johnny, if you ever spoke to them and if you ever tried to rectify that situation and you're saying, hey, I got that wrong, that means so much to people. Like, hey, this guy isn't just set in stone, always right. He wants to learn and be better. And that's what I want to be part of.
Nice. I think that's important. You know, I use this term in our business all the time that I borrowed from one of my mentors that says, we reserve the right to be smarter or to get smarter every day, meaning that we'll do whatever we think is best with the information that we have today. And then, but we reserve the right to be smarter about it tomorrow and then do something better about it tomorrow.
It's a great
And so,
slogan.
I mean, I think that applies. I found that applies in so many places in my life. And it sounds like, you know, it applies here as well.
Neil is a philosopher, apparently. I didn't know, guys, but there he is.
Yeah.
Honestly, John, I made it. I didn't know that's such a big deal for your channel but I made the same mistake with the HDZero goggles. Although I said they have a problem with analog, the first version, but then I said in the video that Carl is working on the fixes. So I think both me and you, we can just blame Carl, right? And
There we go.
So I think
There's
a
a lot of blame going around when it comes to HDZero.
Yeah. Well,
tonight.
first goes Bardwell, then Carl,
Yeah.
and then Cole.
And this is all coming from Ivan, can I just say? No, none of
Right.
it on this side of the screen.
No, like
Yeah,
this
he's
is a
Yeah, let's make that clear.
This is official, UAVfutures live stream. So
Yeah,
that's, yeah. Let's go back, not back, but maybe to a little less serious questions, right? So,
Yeah.
what was the most dangerous thing happened to you in FPV, like in flying, not like, but.
Sure. So there was one time when we're doing, those 150 packs a day, and I told like FPV etiquette. it's probably pretty strict nowadays when you go to your race spots of like when people power up, who's on the track, when you can go get your quad, even if it's on fire, bad luck, you got to wait, whatever it is. We all had the clear. All right, I'm going to get my drones, and then someone else came screaming down the track, and luckily they saw me and didn't hit me, but it would have been a pretty serious situation. And another time when I was in the back of a car, or I don't know if you guys don't have utes up there, but imagine like a pickup truck, and I had to ditch my drone and grab on because I felt like I was going to fall out the back of the tailgate instead of.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's probably that's a long time ago. Like most of the times, it's been very safe in terms of both the flights we have and personal danger.
Yeah, well, please stay safe, and everyone stay safe. I also get a few questions. I know we're coming close, but I remember still you said you can have up to 3 hours. But this
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
go for
but
it.
we don't want to run 3 hours.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm in no rush. I'm enjoying your company, even if Mr. Nice, he's
Well,
got a lovely
thank you.
dinner date to get to.
Yeah, I feel like his wife already staring at him from the other side, like just like
We're gonna make it.
Yeah, so because I have a few questions about your website. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it's not your website, DIYFPV.com, and people are asking, right? Because this is kind of a drama channel that they're asking, like, why is the delay? When and they're saying first and foremost, of course, in all these emails, and they're asking when is the build section gonna be available to public, and like what is happening. And some people even insisting that because you made that video that you're not gonna do monetization, and that kind of tied your hands behind your back of like making this website successful, and then that's why there are delays. Just tell us all about that, and let me know if you want me to share my screen. I can show the website.
Sure. So I think that when it comes to DIY FPV, like for people, this is when we go back to like helping people. So if anybody doesn't know, and I don't know how much you guys are familiar with it, or if you want to spruik it on the screen, but yeah, DIY FPV, it is a website that is designed by me and another gentleman, Tom's, to get people flying. It's kind of like everything that I've ever wanted when it comes to drones. Like if you look at the catalog here, I don't know if you've had a look at that. You can find, like if you go to radios, choose a radio there, and then it will show you, or click on one of them, a pocket, a box, or whatever you want to have a look at. And then here's all the stores where you can get that from, and in stock and everything. So this is updating all the time. It's a really powerful like search tool, right? Of where you can find a product, how much it is. And if you did this same search on Google and went to Google shopping, this is smashing Google out of the park. But we put so much work into like getting this working. And then if you have a look at like the map section up the top.
Let's see the map.
Yeah, so like, and here, if you zoom out here, this is all the pilots. Like you can find a local pilot here and send them a message. So we've got like a whole message system.
Oh, that's cool.
Here. Yeah, man, it's
57. Oh, they're like spread it out.
Yeah, so
right.
Just be careful you don't dox yourself right here. But give your information away. You know what I mean? Like if it zooms right in on your house, if you put that exact thing here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, you could put your flying field, right? We could all put sparks.
If you have a look up the top there, there is a section for flying spots like that.
We can find Din's house now.
Yeah, that's not so that feature's not active yet. So flying spots isn't there. But
yeah.
And then there's like a dashboard, and there's like there is so much coming to this website, but it all takes time. Like this is all just people doing this because they are passionate about something.
Is there an 04 air unit on there? Because we had some comments earlier in the video about people asking like, well, I can't even find an 04 air unit right now. And we were talking about DJI versus Swaps now.
Google one there.
Oh. Search DJI 4 Air Unit Pro. Let's see.
So look, we've got it out of stock, but have a look at, see, they're all out of stock,
in
but
stock.
maybe, Brick Racing, wherever that is. So if you click on that, hopefully that will take you to a site that is in stock.
Well, it says in stock. Well, that's Euro, so that's probably in Europe, yeah.
But if you go back and look at the price, that should have been converted to your local currency.
Yeah.
So anyway, this here is what we've been working on. And so one of the things we want to build is like a builder just to help people how to get flying. So we are working on something, and I sent you some screenshots. I don't know.
Yes,
if you
let
can
me
show
share
them
my
And
screenshots.
people are like, hey, where's the builder? What's going on? People also don't understand how much work it takes to create a good website, like a website that's going to be truly useful. And what we've got here should be, so builder is getting worked on. Like I had a meeting I was up at 5:30 this morning talking about this. So this was just, I just sent you a screenshot. So this was like some of our Figma design. It's well and truly underway on like all of those are going to be parts that are uniquely matched to our catalog. And if you pull up the other, there you go. So that will be a part in our catalog. So not only can you can basically build your drone virtually, take something from the catalog, put it in here, and then wire it up. Like you're going to be able to wire it up and connect it and show a bunch of different things in here. It's so cool, man. Like
So
this
when?
is going to be-
When?
Yeah,
So
well,
when?
yeah.
Okay. Probably. I would hope that it's this year. That's the plan.
All right.
Yeah.
And then,
But then
so
it's
my
also
question
me and
is,
Tom's working on this. So I don't have any coding skills. And Tom's, I do a lot of like the video side of things and like talking to the vendors and getting people involved in here. So if you have one of the reasons our catalog works so well is because I have those contacts to say, hey, the guys at Phaser FPV, hey, Reese, or maybe DinDrones, we could get them involved. Let's get an API access to your database so we can put you inside and match it up all to our DIY FPV catalog. So
DinDrones, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
and,
one thing here is going to match that one item, which is then listed across the 10 stores that carry that or something, and then you'll be able to wire it all up.
so maybe I just didn't hear right, but why would you not monetize that? Or did I understand that the question was, if you say you're not going to monetize, then there's no reason for you to build it, but like that certainly seems like something that should be monetized.
Yeah, so if you look at this, it's never that we're not going to monetize it. The thing is, it's not done in like traditional ways. So there's like no ads on here, and people are like, hey, why would you do this? And this is what people don't understand, and often they think there's an ulterior motive. It is truly because I love FPV. This is like a dream website that I want to give back to the community to help them. People can do things because they're passionate about something. You look at Betaflight, like they're making something without a financial incentive there to make something for the community. But like there's no ads on here. Maybe that'll change one day. I don't know. Maybe there's like running costs that like, oh, we need to put a banner down the bottom that's going to supplement the map costs or whatever that's going to be.
But like those are affiliate links on those products.
No, they're not.
Oh, well, I mean, why not though?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that could be in the future if we ever have features that need to do that. But it hasn't been the driving directive of why we make this amazing website.
Okay.
Let's see. What 533 is selling? They have motors? I don't know. Or can I search 533
Tiny trainer?
here?
I think 533 has a tiny trainer. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Tiny trainer. Tiny trainer. Let's see. Reviews. Visit site. Oh, this is a weird site. This is not 533.
So that's where they sell that kit.
All right. Gotcha. I was just wanted to check if you don't have affiliate links, but I believe you.
Yeah. You will find tracking links though, which have just come in, I think, in like the last month or so, and that was purely so we could give data back to stores of like, here's how many visits do we have, how many unique clicks and those things. And I think that like there should also, I have nothing against people monetizing something as long as you are providing a service to people that is valuable. I've got no problem with people doing that. Like if there's some other websites that do things, and I have no problem. I use affiliate links in my videos, but this is made to get people flying and having a good time. I encourage you guys to use it, like to do some posts, and just like the amount of people that I've heard that have been on the map and not realized, man, I've got someone just down the road, and you can click on their profile, send them a message, like get flying. How many times have you wanted to do that when you get into drones? To go fly and be part of a community, and then to be able to do that is, we have the tool now, and I have enough of an audience to create that critical mass where we can get this off the ground and people enjoying it.
So for myself and for everyone else watching that maybe can't doesn't remember, can't see the web address, like what's the name of this website again?
It's just DIY FPV.
DIY FPV. All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to check that out.
No spaces or anything. Yeah, I
No.
think that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I wish.
I would love, like, we're always open for some ideas or help, or we would love to. There's some big things we would like to do. If you look on the roadmap and some features at the moment, we really want to get the builder out. Like you can see in the background, there's a lot of work to actually map and draw up individual parts to put them into a builder. But I'm sure when Ivan showed how many pictures are there, there's a lot of parts already done. It just takes it takes resources, and they're finite
I
to
think-
be able to do that.
I think that's one of the biggest challenges for anybody coming in new to build their first drone is like, okay, so you have to go find a camera, a VTX, a flight controller, motors, whatever. And each of those, most of the time, if you're lucky, they come with their own little wiring diagram or instructions
Yeah.
that show how to
Imagine-
wire the camera up. But
So
it's like,
imagine now you drag those parts in, and you can actually draw them and put them here, and take that link and be like, "Yo, Johnny, do these parts all work together?" And he can comment like, "Yeah, man, that's gold," or "You need to actually wire it like this, or use these motors instead." And then you know where to get them from. You can have it saves to a backpack, and you can be like, "Yo, here's my backpack. Now I want to go and buy these," and you can create guides and show people. Like, it is going to be such a powerful tool that you could wire your microwave up using this eventually.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like it, which is kind
I think
of
that's
crazy.
beautiful. Yeah,
Neil
because
likes
that
it.
doesn't exist. Yeah, I do, because
You didn't even say interesting. That means it's
No,
really,
because
it's
I'm
really good. And Neil
genuinely
says
interested in it.
Yeah.
We need help then, like in terms of
Yeah.
just people using it, talking
Right.
about it, promoting it. Because if you like, go and have a look and see if it stands for what you believe the community could truly use, and I think you'll be hard pressed to argue any negatives when you are looking at that site. I'm really
Nice.
proud of what we've done.
Yeah, I'm
with
gonna
that.
check
We'd
that
love
out.
some Betaflight dev work. In some ways, we can implement with Betaflight to have that there. We're not sure what that entails yet, but it's on the, like, when you do like roadmaps, it's like definitely an ideas page there that is like, hey, Betaflight integration and working with Betaflight up here.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be, but sounds interesting. Yeah, but I think you know that a
Sounds
lot
interesting.
well, when I say interesting, I'm really interested, right? It's not like Neil. My interesting is different from your interesting. But a lot of Betaflight developers are from New Zealand and Australia. You can make some friends if you go to drone racing somewhere there.
Yep.
So while I have my screen shared, let's bring another question from Mr. Matt. Mr. Matthijs Borlacha, and he was asking, what's your relationships with Bangood? Did you date Bangood, or
That is a lady called Seven. So that was
Seven.
I'm going to use the term handler. I guess they all have this person works with these YouTube content creators. Like, you'll have one point of contact. This was my contact here, and we went over there. We visited GearBest, Bangood, a whole bunch of electric skateboard.
like you went to
companies, 'cause-
China?
Yeah. So we flew over there. They didn't finance the flights or anything like that. I was like, yo, I spoke to Cal. This is another guy who used to be in my videos. He'd always be behind the speed gun. And it's like, yo, let's want to come to China? And he's like, yeah, sure. So we went over and we basically just visited all the vendors. I went and saw Diatone. I went through the Emax factories. We went to Bangood. Spoiler alert, I probably got the worst meal at Bangood out of all of them that I went to lunch with. It was a little bit disappointing.
Worst meal?
Yeah. It was not great. It was not great. But yeah. So that's where those photos are from. It was an awesome time.
Does your wife knows about these photos?
Yep. And I had to make sure I was back because it was her birthday the next day when we landed back in the country.
Oh,
If we get
That's where I
big
made that
enough,
GearBest
guys,
wrap
we
as
can-
well.
At GearBest. If we get big enough, we can go to China
yeah.
one day.
So let
One
me
day.
share another thing, and this one I need to reshare because I want some sound. Since we're talking about Bardwell, and you know, blaming Bartle for everything. Let's see if we can blame Bartle for that. Let's see. Sorry, that's too much buttons to click.
While you're clicking that, was 7 really tiny, or are you really tall?
I'm not really tall.
I got
I like-
comments on
Yeah, I like my
last
wife.
video.
Bigger than average, right? Right?
Yeah,
But
There you go.
yeah.
Sometimes somebody
All
met
right,
me at
all of
IO and
them.
was like, I thought you were big, and you're not very big. And then
So you're bigger
other
than
times-
average.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say next time. All right, go for it, man.
So the question is, you probably know about this video. We're gonna watch this video, and then I'm gonna ask you. Well, I'm gonna ask right now. But did you stop your epic introduction words just because like Bartle were mocking you? And this is the video.
G'day, Stu here from UAVfutures, and today we're going to be checking out something that I'm really excited about. G'day, Stu here from UAVfutures, and today we're going to be checking out something that I'm really excited about.
That's Bartle now.
G'day, Stu here from UAVfutures, and today we're going to be checking out something that I'm really excited about.
Oh, well, first of all, how do you rate his Australian accent? And did you stop your introduction because of this video?
No, you still use that. We need some more homework here, guys. I still do that
Yeah.
g'day all the time.
I didn't really,
But
All right,
you
that's
need
my
to
bad.
watch more than the first 8 seconds, right? So I actually have learned in YouTube, you need to give a premise of like what's coming up in the video, blah, 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 rather than just shouting that out. Can I send you back my impressions of Bardwell?
Please.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Send me here in the whatever in this.
Yeah, give me
little
2
chat.
seconds. Ask me some other questions while I'm
Well, while you're doing that, I
looking
want to
for
say that and Bardwell both inspired me to come up with something, and like I couldn't come up with anything good. So for like my first like 400 videos, I just said like John here, guys, and today we're talking about like whatever it was. And then I felt self-conscious because I was like, it's not as good as Stu or Bardwell, so I kind of stopped doing it.
I miss John here,
but-
guys.
Yeah. Like I started bringing it back eventually, and I got so into the habit. Like when I said it, it would put me in the zone. And I noticed when I was at work and I had to do like public speaking, I almost wanted to say it before I talked in front of like a meeting like a boardroom meeting, just to like get myself in the zone. I was like, no, I can't say that. Like,
I would love to
But,
see you
yeah,
introduce yourself at a board meeting like that. Just John here, guys. All right.
Well,
two,
if
three
it
numbers
works,
are
there's
looking-
nothing.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's I actually did some impersonations of Mr. Steele, Bruce from XJet. I've got a whole bunch here I'll post in live. This is going back a while though.
All
So
right.
this is
let's
8
see.
years ago. I quite like humor. Like I feel like that's a big driver of what I want to do.
Let's watch that.
It only goes for a minute 30, but I think I nailed some of them.
I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today.
I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today.
Welcome back to RC Model Reviews for the first not-so-weekly news of 2017.
G'day, welcome back to RC Model Reviews for the first weekly, not-so-weekly news of 2017.
So, all right, what's up? Basically, I'm not gonna say basically ever again. I got.
Oh, right. So, basically,
So as of yesterday, the drone lab is finally done. Come check it out.
So as of yesterday, the drone lab is finally ready. Come check it out. Something I'm particularly proud of is this wooden rolling pin I got for coming second place at Drone Worlds.
So I get a lot of questions about what I put on my eyes.
I'm scared now.
So I get a lot of questions about what I put on my eyes.
Feels a little too ting 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 ting. I should feel ting 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 ting.
Just like a little ding 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 ding, you know? And it should be like ding ding ding. Obviously, no offense meant to any of these guys.
Right, no, they're great.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah,
You
so
did a
that's
pretty good American accent. Did you
thank
work on that?
No, I just rolled with it. But that's something that I think for me works really well, and I know that Ivan puts it in his videos, and whenever we incorporate it, like for me, humor is absolutely king. What makes this dry subject of PID tunes and frames and carbon thickness and fluid dynamics exciting or interesting, or at least keeps my attention. And maybe that's because of a teacher. Like I want to understand how people learn and be able to bring that and bring people along with the information. But whenever I can throw some humor in there, it's something that I truly enjoy doing.
That's awesome. Yvonne, do you remember the phrase that they taught you to say with an American accent?
Oh, I love Applebee's or something like that. And I thought
give me your best g'day.
G'day.
G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here.
G'day, Steve from UAVfutures here. Well, that one I can hear I messed up, right? But I thought when I say I love these Applebee's, I thought my accent is perfect. And there was Chris Thomas, Neil, and I forgot someone else, and they were just laughing at me. And it's like, I think they're laughing because my accent is so good. Like, but
give it to me one more time. One more time.
It's just funny because he really did think he did it so good, but it just sounded like Yvonne still. Like.
No, I'm not saying that. Only if Chris Thomas asks in the chat. That's it. By the way,
I sure love Applebee's.
No, don't do it with me. So I saw Ryan in the chat from HDZero, and he said that he missed the beginning. A quick recap, Ryan, if you're still here. For whatever leak that happened with UAVfutures, he regrets it, and also we all blame Bartle for that. So you can be friends again with UAVfutures.
I think the important part, if we are getting Ryan a message, is to, even if we don't work together, again, just to let them know that I believe in their products and what they're making, and I wish them nothing but success. And I think what they are bringing for the FPV community, we need more of that. And I hope that they continue to innovate and develop and just to have success, because they deserve it. I think they make cool stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
I also wanted to ask you, because I saw you making some videos. I think some of them were like for members only. That was a little frustrating to me. But you're making videos about like TBS.
Wait, can I just say you can?
Yes.
Do you know how to fix that problem?
No.
There's a little join members button.
You
can click on that.
All right. I didn't know that,
Anyway, anyway, continue. Yep.
Yeah. So what do you think about TBS Mojito, and what do you think about Flik? The Flik wing, because I have both. I had both of them.
Okay.
And just curious, what do you think?
The Flik wing I have had more fun with. It's been so fun, like just to flick it up in the air, and Stickman Steve and myself have been ripping that thing around. It's been tons of fun. It's easy to fly. It's nimble. It's zippy. It kind of does like that fun roll. It reminds me a lot of those little micro drones that are my favorite type of drones. Whereas the Mojito, I am scared of that thing. Like it is scary to launch, and it is like, it's not a little toy. You need to treat that with some real respect, and it scares me a little bit. And I've seen Trappy fly it amazingly. Like the flights that I've seen of it, it looks so just incredible. But the flights I have had, I haven't been able to replicate those results. And this is where I'm taking the extra time to be able to do my build and review, because if I reviewed it now based on just my flight experience, that it would not be it wouldn't be not positive, but I'd be like, man, this takes a bit of work to get going and it's not for beginners. And I wouldn't recommend it for my type of flying. But I've also seen Trappy's wing and how that's set up, so I have the flip side of that. So I want to see if I can replicate those results, because I don't think that would be doing justice to a product when you've seen it go amazing. And then just because I can't replicate that, is that a skill issue on my half and my building? I want to make sure I can really narrow that down before I release my video, which is why it's still not out yet. Like Trappy came at the start of last year, and whenever we break something, because we've crashed it a few times, it's like, oh, okay, let's go back to the drawing board or get some new props or whatever it's going to be, because we've got like our one that we are flying and crashing, and then we have this perfect one which is downstairs. That once we nail Steve's one, then we will come back and I'll be like, okay, here, guys, here is how we had great results with the Mojito. This is what we've done on this one, and I can have like a build guide or a review on that one.
So who that Mojito is for? Obviously, you kind of said between the rows that it's not for everyone.
Yep.
Who is that for?
For probably extreme performance wing pilots, I think.
What do you mean by extreme performance?
People who like crazy speeds, long range. I think people who want something impressive, like, when people build like just an insane, maybe like a really fast drag racing quad, and it's like, man, that's cool. But it's not as easy to fly as say a little Lightning or something. So that's who I think that's for. People who want something that is impressive, an impressive piece of technology that is really fast, can do some really long range stuff. It just kind of makes you go, holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah, Frosty said people
cool.
bored. People say, who was that? Yeah, Frosty said, no, someone said it. Oh, yeah, people borrowed from Dolphin. That's what he said. That this is for, I guess. Yeah, well, my experience with, I kind of agree with you here. That's not my style of plane, because it's for going far, and there's not much to go far in Texas. Everything is flat, at least where we live. So yeah, I like more of a agile in the air, slow, fast. I kind of like that. But it definitely looks cool. Yeah. Well, anyone get any more questions, or we will allow Neil to go on the date?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I just want to say that it was like super enjoyable, Stu, to get to speak with you tonight. You and I have never spoken at all before this live stream tonight, but it was really cool to get to know you, get to know a bit about you. I think I really appreciate your views and your drive to want to bring more people into the hobby. And I just wanted to say that it was a pleasure to get to know you tonight and have you on, and thanks for joining us.
John, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for getting me started, getting a lot of this started, getting a lot of the people that I've flown with started, and maybe just apologize for some of the harsh comments that I might have made over the years, probably holding you a little more responsible for some of the issues that we were seeing in person that maybe really weren't all attributed to you. And so I can, I think for me, maybe you just became kind of the face of like the YouTube machine that really wasn't all you. And I feel like most of the things that we've talked about, you've been able to explain, and it sounds reasonable to me. But I think the biggest takeaway is during the stream, I've resubscribed to the channel. So I recommend, if you have not subscribed to UAVfutures, go ahead and do that as well. I'm seeing a huge uptick in the quality back to its former glory from what I've seen, just reviewing like the latest year's worth of content. And I can't describe like how nice it is to be able to see like the same Stu that got me into the hobby is now back and creating content again, because I felt like I was missing that for a few years, and maybe that was just an issue on my end of not interpreting right. But either way, it's really good to see you back, and it's great to be able to converse with you. So appreciate that too.
Nice, Mr. Steve. Stu.
I would like to just first and foremost thank you for this opportunity and meeting you guys. And it really shows me how we are all so similar. We are all just people here connecting over this hobby that we truly love. And those small differences that often divide people, we have so much more in common. And I'm really proud to have amazing people like you in the community. And this is what I love about that community. And like Johnny's reflection there. And it takes a lot for people to say, hey, I was wrong and I apologize for that. And I'm not saying that I've been perfect in the past or anything like that, but I think it shows the character the strong characters that you have to be able to recognize that, to publicly speak about that, and show people that it's okay to change your mind about things and mend fences and continue to strive for what we all really love, which is this hobby, which is so powerful. And uplifting for people's lives. And some people it's just toys that they fly around, but for other people it is so much more, and it is quite literally the reason why they're still here. And just I think when we look at it at the end of the day, we are all just humans on this earth, and I'm very grateful to be in a position where I can continue teaching and continue helping and doing something that I am proud of, like for me in my heart, to know that, hey, we are really making a difference here, and we are all in this together, and you guys are making a difference as well. And I think that you should all be proud of everything that you have done and you have accomplished. And I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Mr. UAVfuture, thank you very much for joining. That went a little bit on a different direction than I was initially planned, right? Because I always, and me and Neil John, we have like a little plan of what we're gonna do. But you turned to be too nice of a guy to attack like we attacked Bardwell or Chris Rosser. Like you're like deeper, you're not deeper, right? Like I don't know how to explain it. Just too nice. I couldn't.
No, I mean, I think that was super refreshing though, because last week was like stressful, as like super unpleasant live stream for us to host. And so I really just thank you for being such an awesome and pleasant guest, and like so uplifting and having a good spirit and a good outlook on what it is you're doing and how you're trying to grow the hobby like that. That just is such a breath of fresh air compared to our last show. Well, I think that one was important and had some impact. I don't know. But I enjoyed this conversation so much more than I enjoyed refereeing last week. So thank you so much, too.
I totally agree, and I think it also shows that we can make some love, not in a sexual contact, right? Because we weren't able to do it on the last live stream, right? But today there is an agreement between Johnny 5 and UAVfuture, although the disagreement wasn't as big. But we still, the only thing left, you gotta unban Johnny 5 on Discord.
I'll do it. I'll do it straight after this. But yeah, it just shows like sometimes those little internet things can become something that isn't reality, and the internet isn't reality, and you don't know what people are going through. And maybe Johnny didn't know what I was going through, and my mods did, and maybe that's why he got banned. Like there's a whole bunch of these little connected dots that we are often can only see that straight line to that person's actions. And I would like to say too to Johnny, if I've ever done anything to you, I apologize, and I think you make great content, and you should be really proud of the content that you make too. And you talk about helping people, and we're all on the same page here. There's not a single person probably in this entire, like between us and the people in the chat, that doesn't love FPV and want people to have a good time. And just thanks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I should also say too, if you have any hard-hitting questions, it's never too late to get me back on if some people really want answers to something, because I do also believe in everything that I have done truly for everything that I've stood for. So just thanks so much for having me on. I was so excited to be here.
Yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you very much. Yeah. And thanks to DinDrones, right?
Huge thanks to DinDrones for sponsoring this episode and maybe sponsoring a future one of my live streams as well.
Yeah, guys, hit whatever, like, subscribe. Also, a little announcement that we're not going to do FPV Spill the Tea for 3 weeks because of Mr. Neil, Mr. Nice, right? So we can blame him. So maybe see you in 3 weeks. Right. And thanks a lot. Thanks a lot who watched. Thanks a lot who participated in the chat. That was fun. Thank you, guys.
All right. Love you guys.